got sass in every way. Talking fast, not a pause in sight. Leanie's got my head in a spin tonight. Oh, shut up, Leanie, can't you see? You talk so much, it's drowning me. With your white hair and sassy flair, just give me a breath, let me share. Podcast queen with a wicked smile, running jokes mile after mile. Try to speak, but in she slides. Leanie makes it a wild ride. With a wicked smile, running jokes mile after mile. I try to speak, but in she slides. Leanie makes it a wild ride. Oh, shut up, Leanie, can't you see? You talk so much, it's drowning me. With your white hair and sassy flair, just give me a breath, let me share. Oh, Leanie, don't get me wrong, can't imagine life without your song. But girl, you've gotta let me in. This ain't just your show to win. So here I stand with my mic in hand, trying to keep this show as planned. Leanie laughs, guess it's gonna stay a little secret every day. Trying to keep this show as planned. Leanie laughs, guess it's gonna stay a little secret every day. Oh, shut up, Leanie, can't you see? You talk so much, it's drowning me. With your white hair and sassy flair, just give me a breath, let me share. Let me share. Oh, Leanie, don't get me wrong, can't imagine life without your song. But girl, you've gotta let me. This ain't just your show to win. Oh, shut up, Leanie, can't you see? You talk so much, it's drowning me. With your white hair and sassy flair, just give me a breath, let me share. Oh, Leanie, don't get me wrong, can't imagine life without your song. But girl, you've gotta let me. This ain't just your show to win. So here I stand with my mic in hand, trying to keep this show as planned. Leanie laughs, guess it's gonna stay a little secret every day. So here I stand with my mic in hand, trying to keep this show as planned. Leanie laughs, guess it's gonna stay a little secret every day. It started with a chat, just a few of us there, talking about life and the stuff we all share. From kids to chaos and the mess we make, we bonded over laughs and every mistake. From bad hair days to a joke or two, no topic was off limits, nothing taboo. We laughed till we cried, had each other's backs. A sisterhood formed in the middle of tracks. Sisterhood of the chat, we're strong and we're loud. From West Virginia, Liverpool, we're proud. From Texas to Australia, we've got the best. Lifting each other up, we pass every test. From the East Coast to the West, we cheer. From Indiana to New York, we're always here. From late night texts to early morning calls, we've been through it all, big and small. From talking fashion to the crazy stuff, we've got each other's backs when life gets tough. We send memes and pics of the day gone wrong and the occasional "can you believe this song?" We share everything, no secrets to keep, like a wild dream that we never want to sleep. Sisterhood of the chat, we're strong and we're loud. From West Virginia, Liverpool, we're proud. From Texas to Australia, we've got the best. Lifting each other up, we pass every test. From the East Coast to the West, we cheer. From Indiana to New York, we're always here. From Tennessee, where the music plays, to sweet tea nights and lazy days. From England's hills to the country roads, our sisterhood's a bond that forever grows. Sisterhood of the chat, we're strong and we're loud. From West Virginia, Liverpool, we're proud. From Texas to Australia, we've got the best. Lifting each other up, we pass every test. From the East Coast to the West, we cheer. From Indiana to New York, we're always here. Through the highs and the lows, we've been there. When the world feels heavy, we just don't care. We're loud, we're bold, we're a little bit wild, but always there for each other, with hearts so mild. Sisterhood of the chat, we're strong and we're loud. From West Virginia, Liverpool, we're proud. From Texas to Australia, we've got the best. Lifting each other up, we pass every test. From the East Coast to the West, we cheer. From Indiana to New York, we're always here. So here's to the sisters who make life so sweet. We've got each other, no defeat. From the chat to the heart, it's all the same. We're a sisterhood forever in the friendship game. According to Leanie, the eclipse is to blame, but truly the Lord brought us together, and we'll never be the same.
Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Hello. Good to see you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you. Good night. I appreciate you guys. Oh, Darlene, hello. Good to see you. Lulu, Kelly, sister, you got the notification. That's great. My mom, she's gone to the hospital with asthma. God bless her. God bless her. Lord have mercy. I know that how tough that is. I pray she feels better really, really soon. Possum the cat is here, you guys. The therapy is here. Thank God for that. We all need some. Detour, hello. May the force be with you. Good to see you guys. The force be with you. I saw a lot of things that were titled that today. I was like, what the hell? And then I remembered what it meant. I wasn't a Trekkie. I wasn't a 4C. I wasn't R2D2E, whatever they are. I wasn't E. I was just a lean. That's it. So it wasn't my thing. But kudos to those that it is. It's good to see everybody here. Thank you so much. Listen, I am doing just another kind. There was a lot of people in chat last night. I was really kind of blown away, to tell you the truth, at how many people had not heard about the Idaho 4 case. And I was just going over some things that had come out since the last time my co-host Maggie and I had covered the Idaho 4 case, when BRYAN KOHBERGER was sentenced for the murders of Kayla Gonsalves, Maddie Mogan, Ethan Chapin, and Xander Kernodle. 4 students that lived in an off-campus house were killed in November of 2022. Just this year, earlier this year, I think, if I'm not getting my dates mixed up. Numbers in my head and names in my head are so many that I get things screwed up a lot. But I think it was earlier this year that, yes, he pled guilty. And he was sentenced to life without parole, I think, in the murder. He was sentenced to 4 counts of murder. And listen, you guys, some of you may believe that he, he didn't do it. And that's okay. You could think that. I think they got the right guy. I think he acted alone. That's my opinion, but our opinions don't have to match. Please understand that. I say this every time I'm live because I really want everybody who's new here to understand this. You don't have to agree with me at all. I don't have to agree with you at all. We just have to respect each other enough to realize we have the right to believe whatever we want to believe, and be adult about it. I love having good conversations. I love having even people talk to me that don't believe the ways that I do. That's probably my favorite thing, because how am I to learn if you're not telling me? There's been a lot of times in some of the cases that we've covered that I believed a certain way, and then somebody would say, hey, wait a second, Lainey, let's talk about this right here. And my brain can only think one way, y'all. Sometimes things come to me and I'm like, whoa, wait, now this makes sense. But sometimes it would never come to me if you guys don't reach out and say, wait a second, like, I think you're looking at this wrong, and give me a different perspective. You may change my mind, you may not. I may change your mind, I may not. And that's okay. That's okay. So when we were doing this last night, when we were covering just different things that had come out since then, of course, the Moscow Police Department has started, well, they started back when, releasing all of their files, all of the pictures, except for the pictures of the victims themselves. But the crime scene pictures, pictures of Bryan Kohberger when he was taken into custody, and you know how they make them strip down and they take pictures of their whole body. All of that was released except for the personal ones, you know, his little bippy. And then, you know, so we were going over some of that last night, and then I had mentioned Elliot Rogers, who, because somebody asked me what I believe the motive was, and I said I believe him to be an incel, like very much like what Elliot Rogers was, and who also killed students. Y'all, I have a pretty bad storm going through, so if I happen to disappear, it's because of that. Like I've been cut off because I live in Indiana, y'all, and we're good for these storms taking out our lights. We're really good for that. So if that happens, it's not that, you know, I just got sick of being here. It's just that nature took me out. So just so you guys know that. So anyways, I said tonight I would go over the Elliot Rogers thing just so, because a lot of people, I didn't understand what an incel was. I never even heard of the word incel until um, until the Idaho 4 case. Never even knew it was a thing, you guys. Listen, I live a sheltered life and I'm quite happy to live that way. RC, good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Candace, hello, honey, from Colorado, Utah border. Welcome. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. So what we're going to do first is continue with what I had going last night. I did not get the chance to show the pictures that I wanted to show of Bryan Kohberger in jail when they had him stripped down so they could take pictures. What got me about this all was, yes, he was a month later, he was arrested in Pennsylvania for these murders, right? And so it had been a whole month since then. Some of these pictures to me that they show, y'all, I'm saying that some of the marks on his body were due to this crime that we're still healing. And I'm going to show them to you. You guys tell me what you guys think about that. As soon as we finish up that part of it, then I'm going to go straight into the Elliot Rogers thing. If you've never heard of Elliot Rogers, you guys, it is one of the most interesting things I think I've ever looked at on here. I have done a live on it before when we were covering the Idaho 4 case, but that was way in the beginning. And it was asked again, like who this dude was. And so I said I would do that. We will cover that tonight. Detour said, did this wanted to see if he got away with murder? What do you mean, Detour? What did this guy? Okay, wait. Guy. You're going to have to retype it for me. I'm lost. Melly Joe, Sharon, hello. Volunteer, Hylene Sharon says, I'm a ball cell. I've never heard of that. Oh my God, I can't wait to tell Maggie about this. I'm a voluntarily celibate. Well, that's what an incel is as well. I'm sorry, it's involuntarily. So they don't want to be a virgin and they want to have sex, but they're so freaking creepy that people pick up on the vibe right away. So a ball cell, which I've never heard that ever before, is voluntarily. Wow, Sharon. Girl, you say that loud and say that proud, honey. No hate here. No hate here. Good to see everybody. Detour, I don't know what you meant by that. Did this guy want to see if he could get away with murder? I think if I just read that right, yes. He was a criminologist, you guys. Oh, you made it up. I was super excited about it. Y'all, I'm gullible. I'll believe anything you say because until I get off, and then I do research on it. That's what we do. But it's true. Okay. But yes, I think that he knew he was going to do something like this a long time ago. I believe he had a fascination with Ted Bundy. In fact, one of the classes that he took from a lady who um, actually wrote a book, not of Ted Bundy, but with Ted Bundy. With she went to his jail and over the phone, and she wrote a book with him. And I believe it was all by design that BRYAN KOHBERGER actually took one of her criminology classes. Hi, April. Good to see you. Pardon me. Detour says, I thought BRYAN wanted to commit murder to see if he could get away with it. Correct. Yes, I think so too. I think so. I mean, how long did Ted Bundy get away with it, right? Listen, I'm just going to put this out there. I do believe that if the knife sheath was not left there, and I don't think he did that on purpose, there are a lot of people that do believe it was going to be his calling card. Because you guys know that, like most serial killers and things like that, they have a calling card, right? Or they start calling themselves a certain name, and that's how the media gets it. And they love it. They love the attention. I don't think he ever planned to get caught. And I do think that he would have probably gotten away with this if he had not left the knife sheath. Unless there's something I haven't read yet that they have more of his DNA, but that's the only thing that I can see that there was DNA there. April is doing laundry, but she's listening. All right, April, will help you get through that. Let's just go ahead and start it, you guys, because I don't want this to be another 4-hour live. Everybody needs to sleep. Everybody's got stuff to do. So let's go ahead and just jump right in it. Like I said, we're going to continue where we left off yesterday, which is just talking about the pictures that they took of BRYAN KOHBERGER when he was arrested for these crimes. Of course, they made him strip down, and they take pictures from head to toe, you guys. It's just not only BRYAN KOHBERGER, it is every criminal like this. They have to. It's evidence. And so do remember, like I said, BRYAN KOHBERGER was arrested in Pennsylvania a month after the actual murders. Okay, so you're not going to see like open cuts and things of that sort. But please let me know what you think. If some of the I call them marks, or maybe sores that were healing. Let me know what you think about that. I also want you to be very, very aware of this. BRYAN KOHBERGER is said to have been have OCD very, very bad. He washed his hands constantly. I guess he still does in the cell. Washes his hands constantly. So in one of the pictures, it's going to show his hands, and you're going to noticeably see that his hands are really, really, really red compared to like his upper arms and things like that. But just note that that is because he is highly OCD, and he washes to the point that he makes his skin stay raw a lot. All right, so let's just jump right in. That's the way I like to do things. We could talk the shit later. Let's start over here. If one of my mods does not mind dropping the disclaimer in chat, and I will read it out really quick before we start this up. It is scrolling across the screen on the top as well. Fair use disclaimer, Copyright Act of 1976 gives allowance for this content to be used for purposes of criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Do not come for us, YouTube. We're trying to just do the best we can over here, just minding our own business on this little old channel. So it is floating across the top. It's going to be floating in our chat. And we're doing the best we can. Thank you so much for that, mods. I appreciate it. Let's jump right into this. I'll make it as big as I can for you guys. You're going to have to control your own volume, though, because I can only control what happens from here. You guys, our source is Crime Fix with Anjanette Levy. 20, and it's titled 25 Shocking Photos of BRYAN KOHBERGER in jail. The picture that you see on a screen of him is just some random picture that they found on his phone or iPad or whatever. You know, there were plenty of pictures. This is a disgusting man. Let me go ahead and hit the thumbs up as a thank you. I want to go ahead and read to you what the little synopsis of this video is, because I think that's important. It says, when Bryan Kohberger was charged with murdering 4 University of Idaho students, detectives investigated his life, but also searched him for injuries. Kohberger was photographed from head to toe at the Latah County Jail in January 2023. He has since pled guilty to murdering Maddie Mogen, Katie Goncalves, Ethan Chapin, and Xana Kernodle. Long Crimes Anjanette Levy goes through the photos in this episode of Crime Fix, a daily show covering the biggest stories in crime. So shout out to them. Thank you so much for that. And let's get going, guys. I'm going to shut the hell up now.
Collection of his, but now we are getting a look at him behind bars like we haven't seen before. I'll explain, and better yet, I'll show you. Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Bryan Kohberger is in prison in Idaho's maximum security institution. He's inmate 163214. He spends most of his days in his cell, despite being allowed 1 hour per day of rec time outside, but we're told he doesn't really do that. Kohberger is now 31 years old and is serving 4 consecutive life sentences for the horrific murders of Maddie Mogen, Kaylee Goncalves, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. We've talked about their senseless murders so many times here on Crime Fix, and we've shown you what I called that famous porch photo so many times that I can't even count. It was taken hours before the 4 were stabbed to death in the house on King Road. They were having fun before the big football game. They're frozen in time, and then evil walked into their home off campus and stole their lives. Their murders were a whodunit. The investigation went on for weeks, you'll recall, and it appeared there were no leads. But there was one clue left behind that would lead to a suspect, a K-bar knife sheath with the U.S. Marine Corps emblem on it. Testing on that sheath would later reveal a single source male DNA profile on the leather strap. We now know that DNA came back to Bryan Kohberger, the Washington State University PhD student studying criminology. A SWAT team in Pennsylvania arrested Kohberger at his parents' home in Pennsylvania days after Christmas in 2022. A lawyer representing him released a statement saying he hoped to be exonerated. We see how that worked out. Kohberger was flown to Moscow, Idaho to answer to the charges and booked into the Latah County Jail. He made his first court appearance in Latah County on January 5th, 2023. I remember it very well. I was there. And you see, Ann Taylor was there with Bryan Kohberger.
You guys, I have to stop it every now and then just to commentate because, as you know, if you've been here for a while, I do have a strike on my channel for playing something I should not have played. And I've got to keep my nose clean for 90 days so it'll fall off and I don't lose my channel. I've worked very hard to get it to where it is. So I'm just going to commentate a little bit here and there, you know, just to keep me out of hot water. This was the first time when he just walked right then into this courtroom. That's the first time the family members saw the killer in person. Now, of course, they went to all his socials and when his name came out, but in person, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Oh, every time I see him walk in there and know that that's the one that we're looking at, my heart still drops for that family, all those families, knowing that there he was, face to face. That's the dude. That's who took your child's life in such a brutal, brutal way.
Represented him throughout the case until the end. Notice that blazer she's wearing. It's black and white. You'll see it again in a moment. On that same day in January 2023, investigators with the Idaho State Police paid Kohberger a visit at the Latah County Jail. They wanted to take photos of him head to toe for the investigation. We now have those photos. It isn't uncommon to take photos like these. This one shows Bryan Kohberger in his orange jail jumpsuit issued by the Latah County Jail. And then one mostly shows Kohberger's lower body in that same orange jumpsuit. We're going to get into why a photo like this one would have been taken here in just a moment. Other photos show Kohberger's hand.
I'm just going to stop them just for a minute so you guys can scroll in a little bit if you want to. If you want to see them closer up, when she flips the photos, I'll just stop it just for a second so you can scroll in and take a look at them if you want to.
Which look incredibly red. We know he had a habit of washing his hands obsessively. The reasoning behind that can be debated.
Now, right here is one of the sores that I'm talking about. Now, could this just be a sore from his OCD and him washing his hands so much? Sure, it could. I mean, I have to be fair. It could be. But I don't think so, you guys. That looks like a callus to me on it. And I've zoomed in, zoomed out, done all the things.
His lawyers have said he suffered from obsessive compulsive disorder. And this next one kind of catches you by surprise when you first see it. It's the back of Bryan Kohberger's legs without those orange pants on. He's also kicked off his jail slippers for that photo. All right, so to talk about these photographs.
Y'all, can we give a shout out to Chris Madonna? Chris Madonna is my girl Maggie, who is my co-host. If you don't know Maggie, you're going to fall in love with Maggie. I promise you that. Chris Madonna is Maggie's BFF forever, and he doesn't know it, just like Nancy Grace is mine. Let's just give a shout out to Chris Madonna. We love him here. But especially nobody loves him as much as Mags does, you guys. So shout out to our Mags too.
From January of 2023. I want to bring in Chris McDonough. He is a retired homicide detective, also the host of The Interview Room on YouTube, a great show, and also a member of the Cold Case Foundation. So they investigate a lot of crimes. Chris, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate you very much.
To you.
It's going to be fun.
This is going to be fun. Fun in a horrible kind of way. But what I'm interested in talking with you about specifically, first of all, we've got a lot to talk about, including some new records we just got from Washington State University. But first, let's talk about these photos that were taken by Idaho State Police on January 5th of 2023. What I find interesting about these photos is the fact that they're taken so long after the crime was committed. And yet they're doing this, in my estimation, to look for any potential injuries to Bryan Kohberger's body. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, if you look at these photos, this is what they would call, a full workup, right? And what you want to do is, well, two things. You want to first, get any kind of photographs you can as soon as you can. And in this case, it was just right after the arrest. It should have been done, quite frankly, in Pennsylvania when he was first arrested. It should have been done that day. And then what typical protocol would have been to put him in a paper suit or something to that effect. Take his clothing, get the photographs, put everything in bags, etc. Because there are some significant injuries that you can visibly see on this set of photos that you have.
Let's go ahead and put some of these up on the screen. I'm gonna start with the first photo in the batch, and really the first photo, shows Bryan Kohberger's legs. We know that they unclothed him all the way, but of course they didn't release those photos to us. That would be a violation of his privacy. But we do see Bryan Kohberger, the back of his legs. They released that to us. I don't see any injuries there, but they have to document his entire body. I mean, they probably even took pictures of the bottom of his feet, if we're being honest.
Correct. Yeah, they have to document everything. And to your point, exactly. I mean, you're 30 days into this potentially, or at least close to it, post homicide. And so, you've got to take that into consideration if there was any bruising or anything like that. So the significance of these kind of overall, body photographs is you're looking for wounds that are healing, potentially because a knife was used. And what you're going to see is you're going to see that wound in the process of, recovering itself. And then you can get a doctor who can opine, medically what the potential sequence of when that wound may have occurred.
We believe these were taken on January 5th of 2023, the same day as his initial court appearance. And we believe that because of the blazer that Ann Taylor is wearing. I see his arm here. I see what could possibly be a little bit of a bruise. I'm not really sure. But I mean, these photographs are almost 2 months out from the crime. Is there anything in this photo that stands out to you?
No, I mean, you can see what appears, in this up near the clavicle right there where the arm comes together at the shoulder blade, that it appears to be some discoloration, and that would be, a bruising or a subdural, what they call it, a subdural, bleed underneath potentially. But to your point, these are 2 months out. So he could have had that could have happened at any time and may not necessarily be connected to the homicide. So that's why it's important to start focusing on not necessarily the extremities because of time, but the hands and those types of things. There's another bruise right there's a good example.
Yeah.
It took me 30 years of doing laundry to learn this, but I'll teach it to you in about 1 minute.
Right
Picture
on.
number 3, the first one, there was number 2 before that. I want to talk about the hands. The hands are interesting to me for many reasons. The hands are very, very red. We know that he was wearing those gloves consistently after the commission of the crime. Because we saw it in the reports. We see it when he's at the BMV. We're going to look at that here in a little bit too. But the hands, this is picture 5. This is his arms. The fingernails are incredibly white. We're going to get to that in a second. And there's Ann Taylor's, that black blazer with the white decoration, same one she was wearing at that hearing in the background.
Go back to that other picture just a second ago there. Okay, so look on the bottom right, towards the bottom of that near his elbow.
8.
Yeah, it looked like a gouge into the skin of some sort. Okay, I can't tell if that's a bruise or if that's a gouge. That would be consistent with fingernails. Somebody, scratching or pulling at you. And, again, it goes back to when that particular mark, you'd have to have a doctor say, okay, well, yeah, it's in, this process of healing. Okay. And so you have to ask yourself, did it get infected? Is it possible, that is a fingernail? If you see like it's an indentation into the skin.
We also, I want to talk more about the hands. I think the hands are very important here.
Yeah.
And I don't, we have more arm shots here. These are pictures 9, 10. We're on 10 now. And then we have picture 11. The hand. That's
a really important picture.
And explain to me why this is such an important picture. The fingernails are unbelievably white, the nail beds. And then, his fingernails are kind of long for a man, I think. I don't know. And then he's got that interesting kind of a mark on the index finger that appears to be healing. Talk to me about why that's important.
Yeah, so that in of itself could have been a cut during the altercation that is still in the process of healing. That right there would be, in my opinion, out of all of these photographs, the most significant piece of evidence, because you can tell that wound in of itself appears to be, continuing into the healing process. It's not gone, which could explain why post-incident, the guy's running around town with gloves on. Okay. The hands in of itself, the blood that's settling in his hands. I don't know if he has some type of a blood thinner problem or anything like that, but that could also be consistent with excessive bruising during the altercation, and it would take maybe he broke some blood vessels in there while punching or something to that effect, or using. This is his weak hand, though, because if he's right hand dominant, this is his weak hand. That tells us then that if he's striking and his left hand is getting in the way, that could explain, the type of knife the type of wound that could have accidentally he hit himself, which is not inconsistent with, the frenzy type of attack we saw at the crime scene.
Well, what I'm thinking here, Chris, since this is the left hand and, you're the expert here, but this is my thought process. Kaylee, poor Kaylee, we know that she had teeth broken. It sounded like her head was heavily damaged. And if he was not anticipating her in the bed and only anticipating Maddie, and he was surprised by seeing her, he could have had the knife in the dominant hand, the right hand, and then looking to injure her in other ways with the left. And we know that he had a background in some type of boxing or what have you. So there could have been, I've heard people theorize the K-bar was used, to harm Kaylee in different ways while he was holding his hand. But however, I'm wondering if the knife is in one hand and he's doing things with the left as well. That's my thought.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I believe that he approached them from the right side edge of the bed and immediately, took out, Maddie. And then he had to lean over Maddie because there's evidence that they were both kicking. And so in my opinion, I agree with you that she would, or he would consistently he'd have to use both hands to control both of these victims. But if we look at the wounds on Madison, those are very brutal, very fast. And so Kaylee, who's against the wall, is now in what is called a control position for the suspect, because he's trapped her against the wall. And so it's an all-out fight. And so that means he would have to lean over Maddie to get to Kaylee. And that's why in some of this case, you see this sporadic frenzy where even in, Ethan's room, where he's stabbing the bed, okay, because he's losing control in that environment. And so I would suspect immediately when he's attacking her, he's losing control. And that's why the knife sheath is found underneath, one of the victims, because there is this excessive fight taking place. And that cut on that hand potentially is, in the healing process, and the bruising could be, to your point, that he's clutching her or choking her because there's evidence that she was choked or gagged of some sort. So maybe he's sticking his hand over her mouth, and maybe that's a bite mark. Maybe that's a tooth that, she sticks it in her mouth and she bites him. Okay. Any of that is possible. And so it also would have been necessary, for this photograph, just to say you did it, is to do a buccal swab on that injury in of itself to see if there was ever anything. The odds are very low that far out, but you still have to do it as an investigative measure to take it off the plate.
Sure, of course. And that was photo number 11. We have other photographs of his wrists and arms. I still think he may have been wearing, the gloves around town to cover up any injuries and to any DNA, of course, as well. This would be his right hand. I'm not seeing anything remarkable here, but maybe you'll see something that I don't see.
Well, I mean, this could be just from blood that has obviously settled into that right hand because the body's trying to heal it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he has a blood disorder of some sort. Obviously, I'm not a medical doctor, but if you look underneath the thumb, it's not, it looks like there's still excessive bruising underneath the thumb. So it's not only on the top of the hand, it appears to be underneath the hand as well. So I would like to see a photograph of him holding his hands up like this, okay, to show us what's on the inside of his hands.
Yeah, and that's this is photo 14. We see more photographs of his arms. You know, I don't see anything totally remarkable there. This is photo 16. We have his arm, his bicep area again. And then the forearms in photo 17, photo 18 again.
If you look at 18 on his inset here to his forearms, you can see what appears to be a scar from what we would call track marks. Remember that he had a heroin addiction years ago. So if you look at his left arm there, you can see what appears to be an anomaly of the skin, higher than the rest of his skin. And that could be indicative of potentially that was his injection sites through his heroin use.
This is wild. Guys, watch what happens when you focus water like this. Okay, so what you just saw there might...
We're going to move on now to photo 19. That's just a closer shot of that same arm. Photo 20, just another view of Bryan Kohberger. This is his right arm. And I see, what could be like maybe some freckles and things of that nature. And then we have photo 21. Are these just reference photos? This is what we did. We're documenting because the rest of these photos, Chris, show him in his jail jumpsuit.
Okay. Yeah, and you can see it. I mean, it clearly says Latah County Sheriff's Office on his right leg, Latah CSO.
And we have photos 23, 24, and 25. And these, there's nothing, I don't see anything remarkable here. I remember reading in some of the reports that he had scratches. Some people had noticed scratches on his face after the event, slight scratches. But, it didn't seem totally remarkable. I see nothing here. Also, too, I thought that there was somebody saying in one of the reports a while back that he had injuries on his hands and he told somebody he was in some type of car accident. So that could be those healing wounds that we saw just a short time ago.
Right.
I wanted to kind of pivot now to something that I thought was very interesting. And we've gotten some new records from Washington State University. And this is about, the officers involved in this case finding Bryan Kohberger's car when a bolo was sent out in late November. 2 officers queried it. And one, actually drove to the apartment and laid eyes on the vehicle. But apparently they didn't call it in. This is the story, when I talked to Chief Jenkins way back when that, it wasn't the right year in the Bulos. So we didn't call Moscow and say we saw it. Now we have an email where Chief Jenkins is congratulating and commending in January of 2023 after the arrest for them finding the vehicle. But they never called it in. So precious time was potentially lost there in the investigation. What do you make of this email, Chris?
Well, I think you and I talked about it, and Jeanette, on a previous, show with you. That was, in my opinion, a huge investigative mistake, and it wasn't just a mistake in terms of, we didn't call it over. Okay, the officers did their job. They found the car. They went to the car. Okay. Somebody made a command decision that said, well, don't contact the owner of that car. All right. And then they tied into that decision in my opinion, a nonsensical excuse for, it was the wrong year. Okay. Well, okay, then what did the BOL get correct? We're looking for a white Hyundai. okay, in the area, anything in the area, okay, around the potential time of the crime, we're to presuppose that Washington State University didn't also look for video about that car on the night of the crime in that email, okay? And so what's the chief doing, in my opinion? He knows they made not only a huge mistake, but they blew it, because they could have had, and I hate to say this about any law enforcement, I back the blue when we're right, and I also tell it when we're wrong. Okay, that's our responsibility to the public, and this chief owes it to the public and to the family to say, you know what? Not only did we make a mistake, you're right. We should have gone and knocked on that guy's door, who was registered to that vehicle, living in that apartment complex, because God forbid, after that night, if he would have killed somebody else, that chief would have been really in big trouble in the long run. And so somebody made a command decision that said, okay, you got the car, you got a car that matches. Yeah, is it white? Yeah, where is it? It's here. Okay, find out who owns it, interview that person, and send it to Moscow. That was the appropriate protocol.
Chris, let's turn now to this video of BRYAN KOHBERGER at the BMV. And this is 5 days after the homicides. He's there to change his license plates. And he's new to Washington State, so his birthday is coming up. So I'm not going to say he's doing this because of the homicides, but he's there and he's very casual with these people. And his attorneys had said, he has Asperger's and he can't, he's not good with people and he'd make a terrible witness and all of this stuff. But let's just play a little clip of this and see what we think of him.
Let Ancestry help you piece together your story. Save now during our Mother's Day sale.
Here's the pen that erases scratches instantly. Look, no cut, no Photoshop. We let the liquid.
So you're from New York. How you liking it over here?
I'm actually from Pennsylvania.
Oh, you're from Pennsylvania. Oh, yes. And then you were.
Yeah, my family's from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Oh, okay. So that's how you, yeah.
That's why I brought it off. Otherwise, I think I'd be really fan.
Oh, okay, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, growing up in the Bay Area, my grandma and my dad were huge Giants fans, so it was just falling in the family line.
Yeah, same here. I like all that stuff. I do a bit more hiking than camping.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up necessarily going camping.
You better come in and do that. Yeah. Yeah. It can be a bit intimidating, but just even the day hikes are really nice. I like going to Elk River over in Idaho. They have the falls, a couple mile hike, but when you get to the upper, middle, and lower falls, so it's really pretty.
All right, y'all, I'm going to jump in chat really, really quick right here. First of all, my BMV is never this nice. Okay, so over there, either in, I think it was at it was in Washington State. Y'all got a nice BMV over there. Our BMV, y'all, everybody's always pissed off. I'm like, what did we do? Why are you mad? I mean, seriously, I don't know what y'all's BMVs are like, but ours are terrible. And I've been to quite a few of them here in Indiana, and they're all the same. Everybody is shitty at they're just mad. They're mad, y'all. So kudos to this BMV, because these are some nice people right here. But y'all, listen, Ann Taylor's whole thing, Ann Taylor meaning his lead counsel, her whole thing about how he has Asperger's, and yes, Asperger's is a real thing, Detour. It is a mild, very mild form of autism. So listen, her whole thing was saying, oh, he's so socially awkward and he has trouble talking to people and he this and he that and he can't get on the stand, he can't talk, word salad. All these little clips that they have of him in places, he's doing just fine, y'all. He talks just fine when he needs to. He was also a professor. Did you guys know that? A student professor? He was just fine, y'all. He could talk just fine. There was also people that came forward of a party he had pretty much invited himself to when he first got on campus. went to a party and creeped a lot of people out. Did just fine talking to the girls and stuff, you know. So, you know, that little defense that Ann Taylor was putting up for him and his Asperger's, and I'm not saying he doesn't have Asperger's. He probably does. Maybe does. That's not my point. My point is he doesn't have Asperger's to the point that he cannot function in life the way that Ann Taylor said that he couldn't. Okay? All right, so let's just keep going. There's been 2 cents on that. Suck it, Brian.
Super fun, yeah.
I've heard of that, actually.
Yeah, Elk River, Idaho. And they've got like a reservoir there in town, and that you can hike around. It's just like there's just so many little areas, not one area, like place alone. And then we also go up, like Coeur d'Alene has a lot of beautiful hiking areas.
Interesting.
Yeah. So if you're ever looking for a place, I suggest those areas because they're super fun.
Yeah. I actually like. I just like more as Spokane, right? So I know like Spokane is a little bit more green.
Yeah.
It's not that it's not green.
Chris, he seems very casual, very comfortable making small talk, not as awkward as his attorneys made him out to be in these motions hearings. What are your thoughts about this video?
Well, the most striking thing here is this is what we would call post-incident behavior. Okay. And it helps us understand that, mind you, at this point, this guy's a serial killer. Okay. He's killed 4 people. Okay. And for him, that release of all of that tension in the crime scene, okay, almost makes him feel, you know, like he knows internally that he's done something extremely, you know, horrific. But for him, that was a conquer. Okay, it was a situation for him that built up for a long time. Remember the buildup, constantly going back to the crime scene, you know, where they've got him on cell towers and you know the surveillance aspect of everything that this guy was doing. And now the crime goes down. The fantasy's been exposed, i.e., he's accomplished the goal. He's beat the hell out of those victims. He's slaughtered them, you know, extensively. For him, that's a conquest. It's almost like, you know, I've shot the lion on the Serengeti. Okay, and so this is what we call post-incident behavior. And notice he is charming. He has this chameleon part of his personality with some type of familiarity in relationship to, he's trying to create, you know, a bridge in the conversation. Oh, I like the outdoors. I like this. I like that. Okay. And he's trying to relate that back to, you know, this gal. But what he doesn't tell you, remember the photographs of the places that he was visiting were the exact Cascade Mountains where Ted Bundy was visiting. Okay, where he was taking these selfies with, you know, Ted Bundy's dumping ground behind him. So again, that's part of the buildup, but it's still part of his fantasy. He will never release that fantasy ever. Okay, because it's put him into a category now where he equates himself now after the homicides. Hey, I'm just like another serial killer. So I'm going to keep playing this as long as I can. And it's very deceptive. He is a wolf in sheep's clothing. And we see that behavior, you know, exposing itself 5 days after slaughtering these 4 victims.
It's something. It's really something. I mean, he seems like a guy you could just chat with. I mean, he really does.
Yeah. And that's how they are, by the way.
Yeah.
You know, literally.
Chris McDonough, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Now, the most important people in this case, every time we talk about this case, we need to remember who matters and who's most important. That's Maddie, Kaylee, Ethan, and Xana. Remember them and their families. That's it for this episode.
All righty. Back to this. Detour. Wait, what kind of disorder did Chris McDonough say a disorder? I'm sorry. I think I spun out of there. I checked out for a minute. I don't know what I'm sitting here picking my teeth. What was this little? It's not a toothpick. I don't allow toothpicks in my house, but this tooth thing, and I think I zoned out. Detour Asperger's is a form of autism. I don't think they call it Asperger's anymore. I'm not sure of it, but I will tell you this, and the only reason I'm saying it is because Maggie has said it many times, and we've talked about it a little bit on the channel. Maggie's son has Asperger's as well. He is a college graduate, you guys. He holds a job. He does just fine. So, I mean, yeah, there are different things about him that are maybe different than somebody that does not have Asperger's, but he's highly functionable, highly intelligent, just like Bryan Kohberger is. Candace says, Asperger's and ADHD are good friends. Yeah, I've heard that too. I've heard that as well. Good call. Good call. All right, you guys, we're going to keep going at this, but I wanted just to, something came to me a little while ago when I was thinking about what Lou has said. Let me see if I can pull it up one more and read exactly what Lou said up here really quick. It may just be too far into it. Hold on. I want to see if I can. It's down here. Hold on. Okay. Lou said a little while ago, she said, it was superhuman feat to have done what he did. He was either ice stimulant use or he was demon possessed or maybe even both. I thought about that for a while up until now after you said that, Lou. And I got to thinking about that because a lot of people are like, no, he had to have had accomplice. There's no way he could have killed 4 people in the manner that he killed him in the time that he killed him. Like it just doesn't happen, right? Here's what I thought. Okay. He went there to kill 1 person. We know that for sure, right? Because 4 people are dead. And he took a knife. So he went there to kill somebody, right? We don't know for sure who. I believe it was Maddie. I could be wrong. We will never know. Thank you. Thank you, Judge. Thank you. Never mind. That's a whole different life. Anyhow, my pissiness over people. Anyways, so he went there to kill 1 person. I don't believe that he meant for Kaylee to be in the bed with her. I don't think he even thought Kaylee would even be in that bed with her. So now he's gone up there. He's got to take on 2 at once. Now it was said, you guys, that Maddie, I mean, her blood alcohol level was through the roof. And we even see in the last video that was taken of Maddie and Kaylee at the grub truck together, you can clearly see in the video that night, just a couple hours before they were murdered, she was toast, y'all. She was really toast. So I don't think Maddie even physically could have put up much of a fight in the condition she was in. Okay. But I'm sure she was able to do something. Okay. Kaylee put up one hell of a fight. We already all know that. But still, so this guy goes in there to kill 1 person, right? He finds 2 people in the bed. Son of a bitch. Hate it when that happens. Now he's got to kill both of them, right? Because Kaylee's awake. She can ID him, right? So then the next thing he knows, what I believed happened, is he turns around and Xana's right there. She had come upstairs to see what the ruckus was. Son of a bitch. Now it becomes his own life or death. Do you see what I mean, Lou? So to me, when you think about the adrenaline that it would have took, or the substance, or the superhuman, or the anxiety, because believe me, all of us that suffer with anxiety, we know that it feels like you could just sometimes pick up a whole house and remove it from you when you are having some kind of panic going on, right? Hi, Joanne. Good to see you. What's the headline today? You mean, what are we talking about today? It's we're doing Bryan Kohberger and Elliot Rodger and how they are connected, how there is major similarities in both of them that lead me to believe completely that Bryan Kohberger is an incel. All right. So now Brian's thinking, holy shit, now it becomes life or death to this man, because now he's got another human who has already, he had no intentions of, I don't think he ever had any intentions of killing anybody else. And so now he's got to kill this person because, again, she can identify him, right? She goes running down the stairs. He goes running after her, and fuck me, there's Ethan. So I think that's how it was done. It was definitely a life or death situation for them, for him. He knew if he did not kill these people, that they could ID him. So it's life or death, right? He's going to prison for the rest of his life, or he's got to make sure this is a done deal. And then I think once he did it, and we see all these videos of him out and about, you know, the video footage that they collected of him, all over these places, and he's Mr., and we see all the pictures, the pictures that he took of himself, and an hour, 2 hours after he murders these, he's in his bathroom taking selfies of it. Listen, he was proud of his work. He was proud. So I think when you think about how the hell was he able to do this? He had no choice. He had no choice. Thank you guys so much for being here. Just like April says, thank you to my mods. I appreciate you guys so much. Eating buttered corn with salt. Oh my God, that sounds so good too. I love me some corn on the cob. Listen, I live in Indiana. We love us some corn here. All right. We're going right back into the next thing, you guys. Let's just keep going with this. Not that one. All right. Now we're going to go into the Elliot Rodgers connection to BRYAN, or should I say the BRYAN KOHBERGER connection to Elliot Rodgers. You guys, there's a whole community out there. I had never even heard of this community. I had never even heard of the word incel. Didn't know anything about it. When it popped up in this case, I was like, Maggie, what the hell's an incel? Maggie's like, I don't know what the incel is. And then I asked, no, I don't think any of us that stay in this channel, none of us knew. So we had to look it up, you guys. And then, oh my God, it just went straight from there. I'm going to bring you guys to it. The most well-known incel on the YouTube streets out here. And maybe you've heard of this. Maybe you haven't. This is your only warning you're getting. This is going to be tough to listen to. So I'm going to leave it at that. It's going to be tough. You're not going to see any scary video or pictures that I remember as far as like crime scene goes, but you're going to hear from the man, Elliot Rodger himself, and you're going to be able to get into the mind of what an incel thinks about themselves and what they think about women. So let's pull this up. Let's get right into it. I'm going to go ahead and read the disclaimer once again, you guys, because I don't want to get in trouble. It's terrible. All right. Fair use disclaimer. Copyright Act of 1976 gives allowance for this content to be used for purposes of criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Don't come for us, YouTube. We've got it floating across the top of the screen, and mods keep dropping it in chat. So we've got it covered. All right, you guys, this is the very last video. Elliot Rodgers used to be a creator. I don't know what kind of a creator, how often he posted or whatever on this platform, but he did. This is the very last one video, and he entitled it Retribution before he went on his killing spree. So let's listen to what his mind thinks of him. You have to control your own volume, watch your own ears. And here we go. You guys, my source is Beyond Darkness, Poop, True Crime Stories, you guys. And let me give them a like. Thank you so much for this. And I've already subscribed. Well, I did subscribe. I thought I subscribed. I'll subscribe it again. All right. So I will have to stop this a little bit more than I had to stop the other one. So sorry about that. I don't like it either.
Hi, Elliot Rodger here. Well, this is my last video. It all has to come to this. Tomorrow is the day of retribution. The day in which I will have my revenge against humanity.
All right, I just want to remind you guys one more time. This is as real gets. It may look like this cannot be real. Y'all, this is real. This really happened. This is really this guy's mind. This is really some fantasy land that he lived in until the end. So here we go. Let me just shut the hell up for you.
Against all of you.
On May 23rd, 2014, 22-year-old Elliot Rodgers uploaded a video on YouTube titled Elliot Rodgers Retribution. This video would outline Rodgers' motives for what he was about to do. He explained that he wanted to punish women for the years of rejection and the men because he envied them. He would then go on to commit what would now be known as the 2014 Isla Vista killings. Elliot Oliver Robertson Rodger was born on July 24, 1991 in Lambeth, London, United Kingdom, to his mother, Lee Chen Rodger, and his father, Peter Rodger, a British filmmaker and photographer. By the time Elliot Rodger was 5, his parents, along with his little sister Georgia, moved back to California in the United States. By the time Elliot was 7 years old, his parents divorced. And a year later, much to Elliot's displeasure, his father would remarry. This would be the start of Elliot Rodgers' downward spiral. Elliot had a hard time fitting in wherever he went. His parents would move him from school to school, hoping to find a place where Elliot could.
Sadly, every one of his pictures to me, from even being a baby, he looks like the saddest kid on earth. I mean, really, my heart can't help but to go out to this kid, not to the one that is a cold-blooded murderer, but to this little boy. My heart goes out to him because something was wrong in his life.
Succeed and fit in. Elliot would later write, "My 9-year-old self realized that there were hierarchies, that some people were better than others. Jealousy and envy, those are two feelings that would dominate my entire life and bring me immense pain." Throughout his childhood and teenage years, Elliot Rodger would hold in his growing rage and anger. He was an introverted teenager who claims to have been bullied in high school, with incidents of food being thrown at him, being picked on, and pushed into lockers. "I was an innocent, scared little boy trapped in a jungle full of malicious predators, and I was shown no mercy," Elliot would later write in his diary. While Elliot would become angry over men having everything, he himself would live a very carefree and famed life as a teenager. He would wear expensive designer clothes and sunglasses and drive a BMW. But one thing that he did not have, and what would fill him with anger and rage, was a girlfriend. Females and sex became an obsession of Elliot Rodgers. In one of his found journals, Elliot would write, "Finding out about sex is one of the things that truly destroyed my life entirely. Sex, the very word fills me with hate. I would always covet it. I would always fantasize about it, but I would never get it." After graduating high school, Elliot Rodger would move to Santa Barbara and attend Santa Barbara City College. He would later stop going to classes, and his anger was further fueled by the experiences of college life. He would frequent online forums and post about his growing frustrations and anger, with one forum post saying, "Start envisioning a world where women fear you." On top of his growing rage, Elliot Rodger became obsessed with losing his virginity, and his inability to have a normal conversation with a woman would only leave him frustrated and angry. Elliot finally reached a boiling point while attending a college party. In his twisted mind, he would give women one last chance to help him lose his virginity before he turned 22 years old. Girls at the college party ignored him, which only angered him more. At one point, Elliot tried pushing several women off of a balcony ledge, but a group of men intervened and shoved him off instead, resulting in a broken ankle. Elliot had seen many therapists during this time, but he was never formally diagnosed with any mental illness. This allowed him to legally purchase 3 handguns to use in his attack. Elliot would also upload videos onto his YouTube channel expressing his anger and rage, but sadly, nobody really saw them, as they would have clearly seen the red flags. He would constantly complain about being rejected by women and why he never had a girlfriend.
Hey, Elliot Rodger here. I'm up in the hills in Montecito right now. It's truly a beautiful day. But, as I've always said, a beautiful environment is the darkest hell if you have to experience it all alone. And sadly, I've been alone for a very long time. I've been attending college in Santa Barbara for about 2.5 years now. In those 2.5 years, I've experienced nothing but loneliness and misery. And my problem is girls. There are so many beautiful girls here, but none of them give me a chance. I don't know why. I don't know why you girls are so repulsed by me. It doesn't make sense. I do everything I can to appear attractive to you. Dress nice. I'm sophisticated and magnificent. I have a nice car, a BMW. Well, nicer than 90% of the people in my college. You know, I'm polite. I'm the ultimate gentleman. And yet, you girls never give me a chance. I don't know why. You know, I put a lot of effort into dressing nice. These sunglasses here were $300. Giorgio Armani. I'll put them on. See? Hold on. Car. See? Look at how fabulous I look. You know, I feel so invisible as I walk through my college because none of the girls there pay attention to me. See so many beautiful blonde-haired girls walking around everywhere. Your revealing shorts, your cascading blonde hair, your pretty faces. And I want one for a girlfriend. I want to take a girl out on a date and prove to her that I'm worthy. I want to feel that sense of being worthy of a girl's love, affection. I'm 22 years old, and I've never had a girlfriend. I'm still a virgin. I've never had the pleasure of having sex with a girl, sleeping with a girl, kissing a girl. Never even held a girl's hand. No, don't even have a young girl's phone number in my cell phone. And that's just such an injustice because I'm so magnificent. I deserve girls much more than all those slobs I see at my college who are somehow able to walk around with beautiful girls. I mean, even in the college town that I stay in during my semesters, I walk around like the common areas of those towns or the areas where all the college parties happen. I see these obnoxious guys walking with beautiful girls. And that pisses me off because I should be the one with the girls. I mean, look at me. I'm gorgeous. But you girls don't see it. I don't understand why you're so repulsed by me. Why won't you give me a chance?
All right, let me stop it right there just a second, guys. We're almost halfway done with this video right here. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you like you never knew. Thank you so much for being here. I know this sounds fake because even the first couple times I was like, this is not real. Like this, nobody talks like this. Nobody acts like this. This cannot be real. You honestly think this about yourself. Because I don't understand this type of human. I don't understand this type of selfishness, like somebody said in chat. I don't get it. And I don't have to, because I wouldn't have been around him either. I wouldn't give him a chance either. But this is so real. And you guys, there are YouTube channels right now, because I've looked them up. YouTube channels and channels on every platform we have that have incel support groups. Incel support groups. Now, I haven't stuck around long enough to figure out if any of them have this kind of a personality problem that doesn't love anybody any more than what they see in the mirror, because this guy would have never found anybody he loved more than what he saw in the mirror. He actually loves himself, y'all. And he was never going to find that. And it doesn't take much for a girl, for a guy, whatever, within the first 3 or 4 sentences that come out of somebody's mouth, whether you're going to jive or not. I mean, it's just the truth. Somebody's going to give you the creeps or piss you off, or you know what I mean? Or you're just like, something interesting here, let me stick around. That kind of thing. Could you imagine this fool walking up to you in college and being like, hey, check out my Armani's, the $300. You should go ride in my cars, Beamer. I mean, first of all, can we at least get to the gym and work on them biceps, sir? You may be 22, but you look like you have a 12-year-old body. I mean, I'm just going to call it like I see it. Jay Bruce says, I wonder if he saw these people act drunken, stupid, and had a grudge against them and followed them, or was it just a random house he picked? We're going to keep going. You're going to find out very soon. Joanne said he's clearly admitted that he wants to be admired rather than be involved with some. Right. He wants to be worshipped. Agreed. 100%. You put the nail on the head right there. Hi, Brittany. Brittany says, I don't understand how you can be this age and not have a girlfriend. Right. My son is young and he has girlfriends. It's exactly, listen, there's somebody out there for everyone, unless, and this is a big one, unless you like the person in the mirror. You can't date yourself, y'all. Well, I guess you can. You got 2 hands, pick one. All right, let's keep going.
Elliot Rodger slowly planned out what he would call Retribution Day. Elliot's mother, Lee Chen, had not heard from her son in a while. Calling it mother's intuition, she began searching on the internet and stumbled upon Elliot's YouTube account. She called Elliot's life coach and revealed the discovery of his disturbing YouTube videos. The Santa Barbara District Mental Health Hotline was then called, and they alerted police to make a welfare check on Elliot. 6 police officers showed up at Elliot Rodger's door, but Elliot fooled them, saying, "You've got nothing to worry about," before they eventually left. On Friday, May 23rd, in 2014, Elliot Rodger would set out on his endless rampage and kill 7 people, including himself. He would also wound 13 others. His murderous rampage started at his apartment on Seville Road. Rodgers waited for each of his 2 roommates and ambushed them with a knife. He fatally stabbed 20-year-old Ching Yang Hong, who was originally from Taiwan and had graduated from high school in San Jose, California. Rodgers then stabbed 20-year-old Wei Hang Wang, a computer programmer who was attending UCSB. Hong and Wang were best friends, rooming with Elliot Rodgers. The 3rd victim was 19-year-old George Chen, who was visiting at the time. He was at the wrong place at the wrong time. After the stabbings, Rodgers would leave and visit a coffee shop for coffee, with not a care in the world for the heinous acts that he just committed. At 9:17 p.m., Elliot Rodgers would upload his retribution video to his YouTube channel.
I'll take great pleasure in slaughtering all of you. You will finally see that I am, in truth, the superior one, the true alpha male. Yes. After I've annihilated every single girl in the sorority house, I'll take to the streets of Isla Vista and slay every single person I see there. All those popular kids who live such lives of hedonistic pleasure while I've had to rot in loneliness for all these years. They've all looked down upon me every time I tried to go out and join them. They've all treated me like a mouse. Well, now, I will be a god compared to you. You will all be animals. You are animals, and I will slaughter you like animals. I'll be a god, exacting my retribution. All those who deserve it. And you do deserve it. Just for the crime of living a better life than me. All you popular kids. You've never accepted me. And now you'll all pay for it.
Elliot Rodger would also email a 107,000-word manifesto to 34 people, which included his therapist, his parents, other family, former teachers, and childhood friends. Upon receiving the email, Rodger's therapist phoned Elliot's mother, Lee Chin, who in return viewed the retribution video on Elliot's YouTube channel. Rodger's father was also contacted. His parents headed to Santa Barbara, California. They contacted the Isla Vista Police Department en route, telling them of their son's plans. Elliot Rodger drove to the Alpha Phi sorority house, but the doors were all locked. He tried to knock on the doors, but luckily, nobody answered inside. This angered Rodgers, and he began shooting people nearby at the Alpha Phi sorority house. Rodgers would shoot and kill 19-year-old Veronica Weiss, who was a freshman at UCSB, and he also shot 22-year-old Katie Cooper, a senior. Both were members of the Delta 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 sorority. He also injured a third person before fleeing the scene. While driving around Isla Vista, Rodgers began firing into a coffee shop on Pardall Road, then shooting into a delicatessen where he struck 7 times and killed 20-year-old Christopher Ross Michaels Martinez. Elliot Rodgers then drove his car south on Embarcadero del Norte on the wrong side of the street where he struck a pedestrian. He also shot at 2 people on the sidewalk, luckily missing them both. Rodgers then shot a couple that were exiting a pizzeria, as well as a female cyclist. He drove around shooting at, but missing people walking on the sidewalks. Elliot Rodgers then started shooting at a sheriff's deputy that was responding to an active shooter call, striking and injuring 2 other pedestrians. Rodgers fled the sheriff's deputy, shooting and wounding 3 other people on Sabato Tarde Street. He also struck a skateboarder and 2 cyclists with his BMW before turning east on Sabato Tarde, where he struck another skateboarder with his car. Rodgers then shot and wounded 2 other men at the intersection of Camino Pasadero. Police then pursued him, and during the chase, Rodgers struck another cyclist before crashing his BMW on the north sidewalk just east of the intersection of Del Playa and Camino Pasadero. The police had Elliot Rodgers' crashed BMW surrounded. As they approached the vehicle, they found Rodgers dead inside of his car. In the end, Elliot Rodgers took his own life with a self-inflicted gunshot wound to his head. While searching his BMW, the police found 3 pistols, various knives, 6 empty 10-round magazines, and 548 rounds of unspent ammunition. Elliot Rodgers would leave behind a lot of unanswered questions and leave many to wonder as to what led him down this murderous path. He would also leave behind a vast digital trail. His YouTube videos would be analyzed by the news media and internet sleuths. His manifesto would give everyone a peek into the dark and murderous mindset that Elliot Rodgers had. Rodgers stated in the manifesto that he planned to kill his half-brother and stepmother, but he was not mentally prepared to kill his own father. Rodgers also originally set out to start his killing spree on Halloween 2013, but reconsidered because there was a huge presence of police officers. Elliot Rodgers also revealed that his retribution was to be set into various phases. In his manifesto, he states, "On the day before the day of retribution, I will start the first phase of my vengeance, silently killing as many people as I can around Isla Vista by luring them into my apartment through some form of trickery." His second phase would be a war on women. He would state, "The second phase will take place on the day of retribution itself, just before the climactic massacre. My war on women. I will attack the very girls who represent everything I hate about the female gender, the hottest sorority of UCSB." He would take things even further, imagining a world of all females living in bondage. Rodgers would write, "To quarantine all women in concentration camps. At these camps, the vast majority of the female population will be deliberately starved to death. That would be an efficient and fitting way to kill them all off. I would have an enormous tower built just for myself and gleefully watch them all die." On some online incel communities, Elliot Rodgers is looked upon as a saint and a savior, and many incels believe that his actions were justifiable. If you are like an old school Generation Xer like myself and have no clue as to what an incel even is, the definition of incel is a member of an online community of young men who consider themselves unable to attract women sexually and are typically associated with views that are hostile towards women and men who are sexually active. Since the Elliot Rodgers shooting, it seems that the mainstream media is obsessed with 24-hour, non-stop mass shootings and serial killer coverage. After all, murder pays the bills and keeps the lights on. Some examples are Jack Davidson, who killed 5 people in August 2021. It is said that he was fascinated by serial killers and incel culture. And only recently, we have 28-year-old BRYAN KOHBERGER, who will soon be on trial for the Moscow, Idaho murders of 4 college students. Some believe that KOHBERGER had an incel complex that may have driven him to kill. Elliot Rodgers was not the first, and sadly, he will probably not be the last.
All right, y'all. Hopefully that helps you to understand a little bit why I personally believe, and even others believe, that BRYAN KOHBERGER absolutely was an incel, is an incel. I don't think, I just don't. There's been many things that have pointed in that direction that made us all go, And one of those things is if you go back and you listen to some of the interviews that were done from some people who actually knew BRYAN KOHBERGER, he was on some dating sites. We knew them. We knew that. He actually got a date with a girl, you guys, through one of them sites. And that poor girl, she was traumatized to the point, not traumatized as in like abused or anything, but traumatized like that she knew something was off about KOHBERGER, to the point that she actually had to excuse herself and go in the bathroom and pretend that she was sick so he would leave her house. That's another thing that we're going to get into. It's so nice to have you guys here with me. I appreciate you so much. Let me jump in chat real quick and see what's going on here. Um, the delusions of this clown, Alex says. Luann says, dangerous personality. This kind of person goes around looking at anything to see if it does offend their concepts of living. Very controlling people. Brittany says, Lulu, people are marrying trees. Oh God, we heard of that. I didn't know if it was true, but somebody told me that on the channel one time. I was like, you've got to be freaking kidding me. That just seems crazy for me, and I'm not going to insult anyone, but that's weird to me. Listen, if you've married a tree, I'm probably going to insult you. Sorry. Because I don't know what else to do, and I don't know anything else but just to be real. Yeah, I'm probably, yeah. If you've married a tree, come see me. We need to talk because something's really wrong. You need pills. Detour says what they elevated Elliot as a martyr. That's right. That's exactly what they did. And just so you guys know, when the Idaho 4, when most big time crimes that or even a small time crime that I get involved and I get looped into somehow with myself, I always run to Facebook and find the page, right? I find their page because a lot of times that's where you'll find shit like, neighbors will speak out on those pages, or someone from the family incognito will be saying some stuff. Well, on the Idaho 4, on one of the Idaho 4 discussion pages, before KOHBERGER was ever arrested for this crime, there was a person in at least one of the groups that I was in, and his screen name, you guys, no joke, no kidding. If I'm lying, I'm frying, and I ain't going to hell for nobody here. Okay, I'll do that all on my own if, God forbid, that happens to me. But anyways, his name was ELLIOT RODGER, and the truth of the matter is, talk to anybody that was on those groups. Those groups are still open or whatever. Go look it up yourself. We believe 100%. I believe. I'm just going to say what I believe. 100%. I believe 100% that was BRYAN KOHBERGER that was in that group, because that person who went by the name ELLIOT RODGER in that group knew too much about the crime. Like, before we ever knew there was a knife sheath there, that person, ELLIOT RODGER, said, I believe that the perpetrator left something there that will identify him. Y'all, it was the weirdest thing that was going on. It was craziness. And I mean, he was just like a member of the group. We were all talking to him. We were asking questions. We all asked, we were all getting, anyways, when he got arrested, that all went away. We couldn't even find that screen name on the internet anymore. Well, then about a week later, another Papa Roger showed up, right? Because everybody was like, oh my God, was that BRYAN KOHBERGER? I totally believe. Y'all, I was all on it like white on rice. I'm telling you right now, y'all have a real problem when it comes to getting addicted to shit like this, you guys. I need prayer. But anyhow, Papa Rogers, that's it. Thank you so much, Melly Joe, for correcting me on that. It was Papa Rogers. That's right. Go look it up. Listen, y'all, you don't have to take my word for it. You just jump right in there. You figure that out yourself. We're going to keep on going with this because I think it's important to talk about. If you've been following the Idaho 4 case at all and the BRYAN KOHBERGER drama stuff, I think just listening to more accounts of ELLIOT RODGER, you will be able to see many, many similarities, right, to these two people. Now, KOHBERGER's never come out and said, hey, guess what, guys? Here's a little fun fact. I'm an incel. He never said it. His family didn't say, hey, guys, spoiler alert, he's an incel. No. But y'all don't have to tell us the whole thing about your life. That's why we're called internet sleuths, because we're figuring this shit out for ourselves. And sometimes we're right and sometimes we're wrong. But when we're right. And that's just it. I'm just letting you know that right now. Hi, madam. Good to see you, love bug. I'm glad I'm cracking somebody up, Brittany. Oh, it's a whole thing, I'm telling you. All right, let's keep going with this, you guys, because I find it completely interesting, and I hope you do too. And thank you so much for being here. You guys, the next one I'm going to pull up. It's going to be some of the same stuff you heard, but maybe going into it a little bit deeper. Let me share it with you guys. My source, you guys, is EWU Crime Story Time, and it's titled The Unseen Tapes of the Killer Virgin Documentary. Let me tell you something right now. I love me some documentaries. You hear me? I am the most boring person ever. Hands down, you'll never meet anybody more boring than I. You will never want to watch what I watch on TV. I'm either watching blood and guts or history or organization and cleaning house and dogs. That's it. Seriously, listen, my parents, my parents are here from Georgia, y'all. And my daddy's birthday is August the 20th, and he's turning 80. And she's like 3 years younger. Y'all, I'm boring the hell out of them. I'm not lying. That's how boring I am. These old people that are staying in my house right now, y'all, they're bored as fuck. I'm not kidding you. Nothing I can do, though. I mean, there's only so many hands of phase 10 I can play, you guys, and pretend to lose. I'm boring the hell out of my parents, y'all. All right, back to this. Watch your ears. Here we go.
Oh, check it out. There's me. All my fabulousness.
No, it's fabulousness.
I am so awesome.
Yeah, kind of big daddy.
Hello? Yes. 34. Okay, there's all.
See guys like this. Oh, wait, no. Not guys like those. Those guys were ugly as fuck, but I would stop at nothing to reduce every single one of you.
Okay, we got another victim at shots fired, shots fired.
I've been doing a lot of thinking about how sad and unfair my life has been. All because girls haven't been attracted to me.
The man you're looking at is 22-year-old YouTuber ELLIOT RODGER. This video is one of many he recorded lamenting his obsession with his love life, or lack thereof. Although his growing anger went ignored, there were countless other red flags throughout ELLIOT's life that he was plotting something horrific. But no one could have ever predicted just how disturbing his true thoughts were.
Bite-sized sustained energy to raise your bar. New Clip Energy Bites.
Are you Marsha?
I am. I am.
Thanks for meeting me here.
Well, this is my last video.
Or how far he would go to seek his retribution.
Tomorrow is the day of retribution.
But if you think you knew just how disturbing his thoughts were, think again. Through since-removed homemade videos, many that have never been seen before, you'll soon learn the rabbit hole goes deeper than you think.
Guys like this.
In the infamous case of ELLIOT RODGER.
911, what's the address of your emergency? I'm at IV. Your guy thinks somebody else is on the line. Okay. I don't know what just happened. Okay. Were you injured? Were you injured? Okay, where are you? Somebody else's. We're at IV Deli in Isle Vista. Okay, you're at IV Deli and somebody shot? Yeah. Okay.
The frantic 911 call you just heard was made after someone witnessed a terrifying encounter at a local restaurant in Santa Barbara, California. Minutes before, the well-known eatery was filled with hungry college students set on having a late-night snack. But unbeknownst to the customers, a vicious and diabolical killer was heading their way, who would soon haunt the vulnerable college town.
Hey, ELLIOT RODGER here. Just took a nice walk in the park. Check out that sunset. Today I'm at the golf course. Though I don't actually play golf, I only come here to admire the whole beauty and serenity of the place. And it's one of the few places where I can come and truly have a sense of escape. It's my place of refuge. The sunlight's about to fade, so I'll end this video soon. Yeah. Childhood. It all has to come to this. I'm 22 years old, and I'm still a virgin. I've never even kissed a girl. You forced me to suffer all my life, and now I'll make you all suffer. I've waited a long time for this. I'll give you exactly what you deserve, all of you. All you girls who rejected me and looked down upon me, and all of you men for living a better life than me. All of you sexually active men, I hate you. I hate all of you. I can't wait to give you exactly what you deserve.
To truly understand how he came to commit such an atrocity, we have to start at the beginning. Before moving to America, the Rodgers lived a simple life in London, and they embarked on thrilling trips around the world. Elliot recalled his childhood as memories of happiness and bliss, recollections that would soon be overshadowed by anger and indignation. He enjoyed activities typical that of a young boy: skateboarding, video games, playing outside, and reading. So how did this seemingly normal kid transform into a vicious mass murderer?
Elliot Rodger here. And here I am at Serrania Park, the most significant place of my childhood. I wish I could be a kid again. Those were the happy years, and I could just live my life without realizing how cruel the world really is.
According to Leach and Rodger, Elliot's mother, Elliot was a withdrawn and shy child growing up who enjoyed hanging out with his friends and family.
My mom just ordered me the book I've been waiting for so long. This is so awesome. I'm gonna read it now.
He would often write down what he wished to say, rather than speaking aloud, possibly indicating that Elliot had developed social anxiety from an early age. After moving to America at the age of 5, Elliot's parents enrolled him in a private school where he made his first friend in the States, a young girl in the same class. Looking back, it was very ironic that his first friend after the move was a girl, considering that she would quickly become everything that Elliot despised.
My parents used to always take me here when I was a kid. Back when my life was happy and fair. Back when I thought the world was fair. How naive I was. I was only an innocent child.
Although Elliot would come to hate many people, his love for his family would remain. However, a few months after Elliot's 7th birthday, he was saddened to hear that his parents would be getting a divorce. Following the split, Peter Rodger, Elliot's father, introduced Elliot to a woman named Sumaya, his soon-to-be stepmother. Although Elliot thought it was very sudden that his father had found a new girlfriend, Elliot admired him for acquiring a fresh relationship as quickly as he did. This is when Elliot's mindset switched. He came to believe that being attractive meant you would achieve more in life, something he would continue to believe for the rest of his life. At the age of 9, Elliot developed strong feelings of jealousy and envy. He would become angry if one of his friends played with someone else and did not like the idea of sharing. Although this can be typical of young children, these intense emotions would eventually dictate Elliot's state of being for the remainder of his life.
This is how you can uncover all the secrets of your family that no one ever told you.
There is a platform where you can search billions of historical records, uncovering hidden stories of your ancestors.
You start by entering a name, and the platform scans newspapers, birth notices, military documents, obituaries, everything.
I found this newspaper from 8.
This is my usual sunset spot, mainly because there's rarely any young couples here that I would get jealous of.
He craved attention and thought that if he dressed in fashionable clothes and bleached his hair, that his status in the so-called hierarchy would ascend. But as time went on, Elliot found himself to be an outcast.
I've been cast out. No one likes me. No one accepts me. All my life, I've been struggling to fit in with the popular kids. I've been struggling to get a girlfriend. No one No one has ever accepted me.
In an attempt to help the young child, Elliot's parents began taking him to psychiatrists. These visits became routine throughout Elliot's life, but unfortunately, no one was able to prevent the horrific events to come.
Hey, Elliot Rodger here. I'm sitting in my car, making another entry in my collection of vlogs. Ever since I hit puberty, I've wanted girls. I've desired girls. I've been sexually attracted to girls. But they've never shown any attraction back to me.
Elliot stated that his joyful existence came to a halt during his ascendance into puberty, in which he claimed to have begun his prolonged vendetta against the female species. Identifying as the invisible kid in school, Elliot began acting out to gain attention, to which he undoubtedly succeeded. He was teased by his fellow classmates, and remembered one girl in particular that would regularly berate Elliot with her friends.
Lizzie T, thank you so much for the view. Suck it. How about that? What I need you to do is to go on over to your channel, go ahead and start you a couple lives. I'll bring my posse over. We'll come on over and see how you cover things. Okay? How about that? How about that, big girl? All right? So, stage right, bitch.
Elliot began to hate all girls because of this. Regardless, his entire existence from here on out revolved around one goal: acquiring a girlfriend. Although he possessed a strong hatred for the young classmate, he believed that having a girlfriend would make him happy. But as he grew older, the promise of accomplishing such a task seemed to become almost impossible. Elliot went on to use this fact as a twisted justification to commit an unthinkable crime. We cannot draw any conclusions regarding the likelihood that Elliot had a personality disorder, but his intense desire for attention is a key feature of narcissistic personality disorder.
You denied me a happy life. You deprived me of sex. And I will take great pleasure in denying you life. It's only fair.
Elliot became depressed into his teen years due to the fact that he transferred through multiple schools and was continually bullied at each one. Not long.
Do we have no sound? Hello, hello, hello. Can you guys hear me? Is this Brian Kohberger question mark? It sounds like Brian Kohberger, doesn't it? That is, I believe this to be the connection between both of them. I really, really do. What does a man need a woman for? I don't know what they need a woman for either, honey. I mean, you guys got two hands. Pick one. I don't know what you need a woman for. I mean, God did y'all a great favor.
Long after his parents resorted to homeschool, his social anxiety worsened, and he was prescribed Xanax and Prozac, but stopped taking them after a year. It came to a point that at the age of 16, he broke down at a family friend's dinner and confessed that he wished to commit. This was due to the fact that one of the girls at the dinner had invited her cool friends, as Elliot referred to them. He was unable to cope with the thought that he was not a part of the cool kid group. Additionally, he grew upset about the lack of attention from girls that he desired and felt disgusted when he would see others in relationships.
I've concluded that females have a very flawed and perverted form of sexual attraction.
After high school, Elliot attended Pierce Community College, where his behavior became increasingly aggressive. Remaining an outcast, he was supposedly attacked by fellow students, including an incident where 4 young men threw eggs at him while Elliot was walking back to his mother's house. Elliot retaliated by throwing an egg at their car, causing the men to initiate a fight. He was armed with a knife and brandished it to scare the boys off. After this incident, he felt powerful and would soon invoke similar acts. Elliot maintained a few friends throughout his college experience, but his extreme views on women and the world had put a strain on their relationship. Elliot felt even more slighted by this. He eventually dropped out of Pierce and enrolled at Moore Park, but then transferred to Santa Barbara City College, where he studied history and geography, although his focus remained on his anger towards other people.
This world, it's so twisted. It's so cruel. And you girls make it cruel.
While attending Santa Barbara City College,
You sickening girls. You girls make it cruel. Listen, all he wanted was a little bit of hoo-ha. And he wasn't getting any. I had to look up, you guys, and see if he was an only child, because if you guys, I mean, I was listening to the beginning of the story and how he didn't like to share and he would get mad easy as a child and things like that. I was like, God, I wonder if he's an only child, because, I mean, no offense to the only children out there. I mean, but some of them do act like that, but he wasn't. He had a younger sister, and then he has a younger half sister, I think. But so I don't, it's like something never grew up, or something went terribly wrong. I don't know what, but something went terribly wrong. But he's not an only child. That kind of shocks me.
Elliot moved into an apartment in Isla Vista and soon began exploring his new surroundings. He would frequent the local Starbucks, where inevitably he often witnessed couples waiting in line. On one occasion, he supposedly became so infuriated at a specific couple that he followed them out of the establishment before splashing them with hot coffee. He apparently did the same to two girls on a separate occasion that didn't show him the attention he thought he deserved. Elliot felt triumphant after his unprovoked attacks and quickly realized that he was capable of doing much more.
I'm so angry right now. I was enjoying a peaceful time at this beach park, and what comes to sit in front of me? A young couple, a guy with his hot girlfriend. I mean, who do they think they are? Coming here, sitting in front of me to make me feel jealous? This is the reason why I hate the world. This is getting too out of hand. I can't go anywhere anymore without seeing these young couples getting jealous and, having them remind me of what I'm lacking in life.
Everything in my store is now free. Hey, it's Jula.
Narcissistic people are extremely hypersensitive to criticism and rejection, and can become angry, spiteful, and violent towards anyone whom they perceive as mistreating them or not giving them the special treatment they feel they deserve. This is not only due to the narcissist's fragile self-esteem, but also because they feel they are special and unique and should therefore be accepted, welcomed, and admired by all those they interact with. Undeniably, this seemed to be the case for young Elliot. He was still very intent on having a girlfriend and thought that becoming rich would make him more attractive to girls. Using the monthly allowance from his parents, he spent this on high-end clothes, including brands such as Armani and Hugo Boss.
Right now I'm wearing my Hugo Boss shirt. It's one of my favorite button-down shirts. This is a shirt I wore to the premiere of The Hunger Games. I look fabulous. And yeah, I did walk on the red carpet on that premiere. It's quite an experience indeed.
He strived to look of extreme wealth and felt that he was superior to all other men when doing so. He even spent $700 on lottery tickets and took multiple trips to Arizona to purchase them, but failed to win. He felt hopeless about his life, and it was around this time when Elliot considered the idea of carrying out a deadly act of revenge. He deemed it the Day of Retribution.
It's truly a beautiful day. But, as I've always said, a beautiful environment is the darkest hell if you have to experience it all alone. And sadly, I've been alone for a very long time. I do everything I can to appear attractive to you. I dress nice. I'm sophisticated. I'm magnificent. I have a nice car, a BMW. Well, it's nicer than 90% of the people in my college. You know, I'm polite. I'm the ultimate gentleman. And yet, you girls, you never give me a chance. I don't know why. You know, I put a lot of effort into dressing nice. These sunglasses here were $300. Giorgio Armani. So I'll put them on. See? I'm the guy you should be going for, not those obnoxious slobs you love so much. I don't know why you're not attracted to me. I don't know what you don't see in me. But I'll make sure you all pay for it.
Elliot's speech and mannerisms are similar to that of individuals with developmental delays, specifically autism spectrum disorder. The dialect can be recognized as monotone and flat, but in some cases it can be exaggerated with the use of very formal vocabulary, as is the case with Elliot.
You've deprived me of love and affection all my life. And that's a declaration of war. If it's war you want, then war you shall have.
Adults with autism spectrum disorder sometimes speak and behave in a manner that mimics a favorite TV or movie character. Elliot seemed to have been doing this as he appeared to be impersonating the words and facial expressions of an evil villain. It would later be confirmed that Elliot was diagnosed with Asperger's disorder, which is now known as autism spectrum disorder. But in no way does this correlate with his actions.
I'm going to show you all a short little tour of this college town called Isla Vista. Every time I drive through this place, I am overcome with rage. Here it is. I'm approaching a street called Del Playa. So many beautiful girls walking around here. But they would never give me a chance. See, look at that one. I just passed one. Here we go. Look at this. Groups of hot young sluts who would just reject me. And look at these douchebags right here. These assholes, these obnoxious little slobs. Those are the kind of guys that girls like instead of magnificent gentlemen like myself. Hold on, let me check if I'm getting some good footage. Am I?
To fuel his rage, he would also scour the streets of Isla Vista at night, hoping to find couples and beautiful young women to chastise from his car.
You're an asshole.
This further indicates Elliot's sense of grandiosity, as he likely felt a surge of confidence while stating the insults. It's noteworthy that he makes these comments from the safety of his car, rather than confronting the ongoers face to face, giving him the feeling that he had the upper hand.
Here I am, Elliot Rodger. Beautiful, magnificent gentleman. Though the girls around this town don't see it. This world does not make sense.
Whoo, I couldn't have said that better myself. This world does not make sense, y'all. Listen, there are people like this in the world. Can you believe it? And if it was not for BRYAN KOHBERGER, I would have never known people like this exist. I had never even heard about this kind of a world. Not even gonna lie. Not. I live very sheltered, you guys. Very sheltered. I'd like to say, kind of like Lou and kind of like some of y'all in chat that are saying, why didn't he just wait like 2 or 3 years? Surely some desperate someone would have come along. But I truly think that there is not a woman out there that would have, even if she was exactly who he describes as his perfect mate. I truly believe that no matter what, there was never going to be a woman out there that he was going to love more than he loved himself, or even liked as much as he. I mean, look at him staring himself in the mirror. No, I'm gonna try some of them looks and take some selfies, looking in the mirror like cockeyed up there. You know, when I'm driving and poke my lips. Oh, it's gonna be so good. You know, make whole new content on this. Lainey, yeah, he was absolutely a narcissist, and no woman would ever be good enough for him, even if one ever did give him a chance. Yeah, I believe that. I really do. Damn, why did he go down to Hollywood red light district? Right. I mean, people like this, listen, if you really need to get laid, you just got to buy it. You just got to. I mean, sell the Armani shades and get you some love, Big Daddy. That's what I would have done. Bolo Youngson says, I met a guy that believed in having a six-pack was the only reason he could get girls. I told him I thought it was good having a personality, and he saw all the girls liked me for my personality. Listen, personality goes a long way. Truly it does. Looks eventually wear off. And eventually the honeymoon period in every relationship is over. And you got to have something substantial to keep you together. And if you don't have some kind of personality, fuck it, I'm done. You got to make me laugh. I like to laugh. Wow, he's an intellectual. Madam says, Lou, you have a point. He had the looks, but his self-confidence was low, hella insecure. Brittany says, I don't think he could find someone to put up with him. Jay says he was mad jealous. And Jay says maybe he tried and they were skeeved out by him. I would be. I mean, just the body language in itself. Could you imagine him walking up in his Armani bullshit, driving up in that? Y'all, you know what? Y'all know how I dress, right? None of that shit impresses me. And let's just be real. Most people in this good old US of A right here, we're not shallow women. We're just not. Nobody cares what kind of sunglasses you're wearing over here in Indiana. I don't care what kind of car you're driving. Just get me to A to B. Nobody cares about that shit. That Boss, Hugo Boss, or whatever shirt you're wearing. I mean, listen, I got some of them too, but mine come from Walmart and they're flannel and they're warm. So you want to impress me, make me laugh. And the only time, like somebody said in here right before the commentator on this was talking about that he seems to act like a villain every time he's talking on camera. I mean, somebody caught that right away. I can't remember who because my brain is shit, y'all. It's like he's trying to be a villain, which is dumb. April says personality's everything. As a little mushroom popped up, that's the cat says. Hi, Kay. Good to see you. Why does Elliot Rodgers look like a clavicular? I don't even know what that means, but I'll write it down and I'll find out. Hold on, let me look it up real quick. That's important. Clavicular. Clavicular. Hold on. Well, what does it mean? Hold on. What people are saying. I don't know what the hell that means. Hold on. Wikipedia. Is it a trait? Hold on, guys. I gotta find this out. Clavicular. Clavicular is an adjective referring to the clavicle or collarbone, commonly used in anatomy to describe structure, muscles, injury, blah, blah, blah. I don't think that's what you mean by that. Also terms, the term also refers to controversial looks maxing. I don't even know what the hell that means. Online streamer, also known as Braden Eric Peters, known for advocating extreme physical modification. Oh, I think I understand now. You mean somebody who plumps lips, makes their cheekbones real big, eventually looks like a cat because they stretch their eyes and stuff. Got it. I think that's what you mean. I learned so much. You guys, we're an educational channel. So you know that. Why did he not just pick up a nice blonde or brunette hooker? Right. He had money. He could have done it, Billy. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. We're aware of James Soroka. He was so like this guy. Scarier too is roaming the streets of the USA as we speak. Oh my God, I'm going to have to look it up. If he smiled more and talked to people friendly and be considerate, he could probably get girls because he's good looking. He was good looking. Yes, absolutely. His personality just stank. And not only that, he was a very negative person. And I'm sorry, somebody who's always got something wrong, y'all, I can only be in your presence like a minute and 36 seconds. That's it. If you don't have, I mean, within a minute and 36 seconds, if you don't have something pleasant to say or something that's not such a drag or wrong with your world, or, you know, I just can't do it. I can't do negativity that much. I just can't. It's terrible. Okay, I got all that. Thank you guys so much. Look, I have to find stuff out, you guys. I have to stay in the know. I have to stay in the know. Thank you everyone so much for joining us. Lou says, please give yourself a thumbs up, not only for our host, but for yourself for being such a fabo chatter. Thank you so much. Hands and yellow hearts, and she loves you. He wouldn't get a job. Well, listen, when your daddy and your mommy's got money, I guess people don't have to get a job. Guess not. Detour says, look massing is to make oneself more masculine. Got it. Y'all, I learned so much from you guys. Thank you. Let's keep going.
This revulsion for people in relationships compelled Elliot to share his thoughts in online forums, one of them being bodybuilding.com, where he writes, "It's been my life's struggle to get a beautiful white girl." Along with this, authorities located several other posts written by Elliot that continue to expound his fury for women, such as "women don't deserve rights," and "they are evil, sadistic beasts who whore themselves out to degenerate men and ignore the men who actually deserve them." There were about 28 pages filled with similar rhetoric, each post more hostile than the last.
Look, that's the house I got beat up at when I walked in on a party. That was about almost a year ago now.
The beating that Elliot referred to happened during the summer of 2013. While at a house party, Elliot was jumped by a group of college kids before being pushed off of a 10-foot balcony. He stated that they were trying to hurt him without reason, but the truth was later revealed that Elliot had attempted to shove multiple girls off of the balcony after making gestures to imitate shooting a gun towards the partygoers. A group of young men intervened, and of course, Elliot lied about what happened to his family and the police. Once again, he was furious that the girls didn't take an interest to him and violently retaliated. The violent party event would be Elliot's last straw.
You see guys like this. Oh wait, no, not guys like those. Those guys were ugly as fuck, but see, look here. A house party. Beautiful girls talking with their frat boys. I hate them all. They think they're better than me. They'll never accept me as one of them. Those girls would never go for me.
Get ideas and insights from experts in your field on LinkedIn.
Hi, I'm Burke, a small business insurance expert with Byberk.
What's a Byberk?
Byberk isn't a thing.
During the later months of 2013, Elliot received 2 new roommates, students at UCSB, who he greatly disliked. Their arguments seemed to be a daily occurrence, and Elliot even reported one of the young men to the local authorities for stealing his candles. The 2 friends found Elliot to be strange and obnoxious and planned to report him to their complex manager. The tension would continuously rise, but unfortunately, the pair would eventually meet a cold and cruel fate.
But girls are not attracted to me. And there's a major problem with that. A major problem. That's a problem that I intend to rectify.
In preparation for the unforgettable day, it was discovered that Elliot read books on mass murderers and serial killers at the library, but would never actually take the literature home.
I will not let this fly. It's an injustice that needs to be dealt with.
He would also research various torture equipment, such as Spanish Inquisition torture devices, but it was later revealed in a recovered document just how far he was willing to go to attain his satisfaction. Following Elliot's chilling preparation, the day had finally come for the twisted mind to take his revenge.
Well, this is my last video. It all has to come to this. Tomorrow is the day of retribution. The day in which I will have my revenge against humanity, against all of you. Well, this is it. This is my last video. It all has to come to this. Tomorrow is the day of retribution.
It's evident here that Elliot is bordering on delusion with this bizarre performance. It's possible that his off-putting personality, so to say, is exactly what ostracized him from his peers. But Elliot's vindictive persona would propel him to organize a horrific attack. Before his day of retribution, it was discovered that Elliot had sent a disturbing email to his parents, therapists, and acquaintances entitled My Twisted World. This would later be known as Elliot's Manifesto, where he detailed his anger and frustrations toward the world, specifically women. Not only that, but the killer also went into chilling detail about what he really had planned for the vulnerable town of Isla Vista.
Minutes ago, I finally checked my email. I saw this letter. It's from ELLIOT RODGER, who's a Santa Barbara City College student. It's 141 pages. So when you get to the end, which is where I went to immediately, page 134, it's a very detailed attack they plan on taking in Isla Vista, including shooting people and driving in a car to intentionally run over pedestrians and then shooting themselves.
You girls have never been attracted to me. I don't know why you girls aren't attracted to me, but I will punish you all for it. It's an injustice, a crime, because I don't know what you don't see in me. I'm the perfect guy. And yet you throw yourselves at all these obnoxious men instead of me, the supreme gentleman. I will punish all of you for it.
Elliot's maniacal laugh almost sounds forced, like he's an actor playing a part, and his smile is likely feigned. Fake smiles are one of the most common nonverbal lies in body language, and only includes the mouth compared to genuine smiles, which involve most of the face. Elliot also wrote that he planned to kill his younger half-brother Jazz and stepmother Sumaya. He accredited this decision to his hatred for how Sumaya would supposedly mistreat him, and even though he mentioned that he and his half-brother had grown closer over the previous year, he could not bear the thought of having someone else live the life that he wanted.
What are you doing, Jazz?
Elliot wrote that Sumaya would allegedly chastise him, saying that Jazz would go on to become a successful actor. He'd have lots of friends, whereas Elliot would not.
I'll be a god, exacting my retribution, and all those who deserve it. And you do deserve it, just for the crime of living a better life than me. All you popular kids, you've never accepted me. All I've ever wanted was to love you and to be loved by you. I wanted a girlfriend. I've wanted sex. I've wanted love, affection, adoration. You think I'm unworthy of it. That's a crime that can never be forgiven.
These thoughts are indicative of severe antisocial personality disorder. Based on the contents of the email, his desire for revenge and his willingness to harm others in such a callous and vicious manner indicates a complete lack of empathy and poor moral conscience. Although it was never expected that he would take his anger so far. Next, it would be uncovered that the original day of Elliot's retribution was previously set for April 26, 2014. This was due to the fact that he knew of his father's scheduled business trip, which guaranteed his absence. Elliot was sure he would be able to successfully complete the murders of his stepmom and stepbrother without worrying if he would have to kill his father. But 2 days before his arranged day of carnage, Elliot fell ill with a cold, and his dad arrived home from his trip earlier than expected. It seemed in Elliot's murderous mind that it wasn't of the right timing to commit his so-called revenge, as he so desperately wanted things to be perfect. He would then reset the date for May 24th, almost a month later. But instead, for an unverified reason, the horrifying incident would occur the night prior, perhaps suggesting that Elliot assumed his retribution would last into the early morning hours.
And in turn, I will deny all of you life. It's only fair. I hate all of you. Humanity is a disgusting, wretched, depraved species.
While unaware that his future plans would be unexpectedly put on hold, Elliot released multiple YouTube videos 1 week prior to April 26, 2014, showcasing his frustrations with life. However, he wouldn't release his final video until the day of the shooting, which puts into detail just exactly what he intended to do. Although he does not speak of his set plan in the initial videos, it goes to show how his enraged mindset grew with each day.
Early birds get the vacation rental. Book your summer stay early on Vir.
Oh, check it out.
I gotta stop it every now and then and just say a few things so I don't get busted. That's just the way that it goes here. And just so you guys know, those ads are not my ads. I do not monetize anything when it comes to true crime or anybody's heartache or anything like that. I don't do it, don't like it, won't do it. So those ads aren't mine, and I have to wait till they play to a certain point until it lets me skip over it. So that's what we're doing. All right, back to this.
There's me. In all my fabulousness. Oh yeah. Elliot Rodger. I am so awesome.
When Elliot made these videos, he likely didn't imagine where they might end up. In the last place, someone with a fragile ego would want them: Reddit. A participant located some of Elliot's videos, which many of the users described as disturbing and unpleasant to watch. One of them being a student at UCSB, who would then go on to confirm the deadly event to their fellow online peers. Many of the comments regarded Elliot's awkward mannerisms, some even predicting that he would go on to commit a terrible act. But others would shockingly side with Elliot, expressing their synonymous feelings of loneliness. Some of the accounts wished that they had warned police when they initially viewed the troubling content, but it was later revealed that the authorities had a chance to prevent the attack well before the memorable day.
This world, it's so twisted. It's so cruel. And you girls make it cruel. You girls have starved me of and enjoyment and pleasure for my entire youth. You've taken 8 years away from my life. 8 years I'll never get back.
Elliot's mother came across the uncomfortable videos soon after they were posted, while researching her son's name, fearing that he may have been transported to a nearby hospital. The worried mother hadn't heard from Elliot in 3 to 4 days and was feeling very uneasy regarding his whereabouts. After finding the alarming content, she immediately contacted mental health officials, who alerted the local authorities. Officers then began to look for Elliot and found him in his apartment before proceeding to ask about the videos. When conducting the check, police surmised Elliot to be an extremely polite young man that did not seem to be acting in a concerning manner. The 22-year-old convinced the authorities that he was completely fine, stating that he would not hurt himself or anyone else. Compared to the bold presence Elliot portrays on camera, in reality, he was very withdrawn and quiet. While the officers may have thought Elliot to be a normal resident of the college town, they never would have guessed that they were talking to a cold-blooded killer who could have been stopped.
I mean, yes, I'm a shy, quiet guy, but I have good qualities to myself. I'm a gentleman. I'm sophisticated. I'm polite. I have good values. And I can be fun, too, if they just give me a chance to open up. But girls never give me a chance because they're evil and cruel like that.
Although Elliot talked about his plan for the day of retribution in his most infamous video, he left out the horrific agenda that was supposed to take place one day before the actual attack. This included his idea of kidnapping, tormenting, and killing his victims within his apartment. He admitted that in order to do so, he must eliminate his 2 housemates so he can utilize the space for his diabolical activity. Next, he schemed to lure people in one by one, to which he alluded that monstrous acts would be performed. Unsurprisingly, Elliot stated that he would torture those he deemed attractive first. He detailed how he would pour boiling water on their bare skin, along with flaying, stripping, and cutting their flesh before removing their heads. Finally, Elliot wanted to disperse the severed body parts amongst the city streets, while simultaneously executing his bloody rampage.
You will finally see that I am, in truth, the superior one. The true alpha male.
To begin his day of terror, Elliot attacked and killed 19-year-old George Chin, a friend of his roommates. He left his body in the fetal position, surrounded by blood-ridden paper towels in the apartment bathroom. The autopsy report would identify that George had been stabbed approximately 94 times. Elliot then took out his rage on his 2 roommates, 20-year-olds Waihan Wong and Chen Hong. He attacked and killed them in one of the bedrooms, leaving their bodies face down with bed sheets and clothes over them. They too died from multiple stab wounds.
Find great jeans starting at $29.90 in stores and at marisas.com.
We're Tire Rack. We test tires to provide you with truth, transparency.
Hours after taking the lives of his first 3 victims, Elliot took his evil plan to the streets of Isla Vista. It's unknown what exactly he was doing in the time between killing his roommates and when he was spotted next. He was apparently seen at approximately 4:40 in the afternoon on May 23, 2014, while boarding a local bus in Santa Barbara. Bizarrely, 2 young girls were also walking in front of him, visibly shaken up. They sat very close together, once in their seat, while Elliot sat directly behind them. He supposedly whispered, "Don't look back," while his hand rested in his backpack, suggesting a gun was in his possession. He was apparently sharply glaring at the pair and looked very angry. The girls seemed like they were being held hostage by Elliot and possibly intimidated into getting on the bus with him. Unfortunately, it's unclear as to what may have happened to the individuals before and after this. Around 9:15 p.m., Elliot made his way to the Alpha Phi house in Isla Vista, California, where he planned to kill every girl that resided in the well-known sorority. He knocked on the large wooden door for 3 minutes straight, but the tenants refused to answer. Luckily for the girls, a code was required to enter, something apparently Elliot didn't know, although it was later discovered that he'd been stalking the sorority for quite some time. His inflated sense of self-esteem may have led him to think that someone would open the door for him without question. In his mind, he was an extremely attractive and well-dressed young man. Why wouldn't the girls open the door? Fortunately, the sorority sisters were able to dodge the determined Elliot, but others weren't so lucky.
One, I'm getting advised that we got multiple gunshot wounds on the corner of Del Norte and Segovia.
Del Norte and Segovia.
Unfortunately, genetic code 300 unit. 3 down on McCarran, Segovia, and Del Norte. I need 3 ambulances here.
On the day of retribution, I am going to enter the hottest sorority house of UCSB.
About 30 seconds after the pounding at their front door stopped, the young women immediately heard gunshots ringing out from the nearby surroundings. When they peered out of their windows, they were horrified to see 3 young women laying along the sidewalk and grass. When police responded to the scene, they found 19-year-old Veronica Wise and 22-year-old Katie Cooper deceased, resulting from multiple gunshot wounds.
911, what is the status of your emergency?
We have a shooting on Embarcadero Del Norte.
Embarcadero, okay, we're on Embarcadero Del Norte.
Goleta, Isla Vista.
No, I know. Where on, like, what block or what's the nearest cross street from there?
It is Segovia.
Okay.
Segovia and Embarcadero Del Norte.
Did you actually see the person shooting the gun, or did you see what it made contact with, or did you just hear it?
I saw the car.
You saw a car? Did it make contact with anybody?
Yeah.
Who?
We have 3 girls, 3 women.
They got shot?
Yes.
Both girls were part of the Tri Delta sorority at UCSB and were simply walking to their intended destinations before being viciously shot and killed by Elliot. The third gunshot victim could be heard yelling, "I'm going to die," repeatedly while speaking to her mother on the phone, but it was later reported that she survived the horrific ordeal. Next, at approximately 9:27 p.m., officers responded to numerous gunshots being heard from the area of Embarcadero del Norte and Pardal Road. After arriving, police spotted a couple of local college kids standing on the corner and asked about the tumultuous sounds. The students claimed that it was merely fireworks, but the officers would soon come to understand that it was far from anything celebratory.
Humanity is a disgusting, wretched, depraved species. If I had it in my power, I would stop at nothing to reduce every single one of you to mountains of skulls and rivers of blood.
After speaking with the college kids, police noticed a black BMW parked near the Isla Vista Deli, a local diner. Seconds later, they identified a young male frantically running to the vehicle before fleeing eastbound on Pardal. Little did the officers know the man would turn out to be Elliot Rodger, the prime murder suspect in this harrowing case.
911, what's the address of the emergency?
Your guy thinks somebody else is on the line.
Okay.
I don't know what just happened.
Okay, were you injured? Were you injured? Okay, where are you?
Somebody else is. We're at Ivy Deli in Isla Vista.
Okay, you're at Ivy Deli and somebody shot?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I understand. Okay, I'm getting help started. Do you know how many people are hurt?
I don't know.
Hello? Yes. 34. Okay, I'll let you talk to him.
Soon the police heard screaming from inside of the deli and began making their way to the traumatized bystanders. Inside, they found a young man profusely bleeding while lying on the ground with a single gunshot wound to his chest. He would eventually be identified as 20-year-old Christopher Martinez, a student at UCSB. Initially, it was reported that Christopher could be seen breathing when police first arrived, but soon one of the officers provided CPR as his breaths were no longer visible. Unfortunately, the first aid was to no avail. But Elliot's murderous rampage was far from over.
For a legal hand to form your business, visit LegalZoom.
Elliot continued driving around the town of Isla Vista while simultaneously shooting the civilians and hitting them with his car, where he injured multiple people. During this time, numerous police officers responded. Some were forced to engage in shootouts with the killer.
I was shot at from a two-door BMW, westbound from Alabama down.
CPR in progress.
Actually, we got another gunshot. Victim at shots fired, shots fired.
The first shootout took place on Del Playa Road, where Elliot fired his weapon at one of the authorities from his BMW. Taking shelter between two parked cars, the officer was forced to shoot back in defense, but was unable to stop him. Next, Elliot traveled along Sabato Tarde Road while shooting his handgun out of his window at passing citizens. Fearing for their lives and those around, multiple officers amongst the area opened fire on the car, with only one round confirmed to have entered the vehicle. The bullet wounded Elliot on his upper left thigh, but unfortunately could not bring the ambush to a stop.
All those popular kids who live such lives of hedonistic pleasure while I've had to rot in loneliness for all these years. They've all looked down upon me every time I tried to go out and join them. They've all treated me like a mouse. Well, now I will be a god compared to you. You will all be animals. You are animals.
The horrific incident would eventually come to an end at approximately 9:35 p.m., when Elliot subsequently crashed his vehicle into the back of a parked black Jeep on Del Playa Road. Officers rushed the scene, where they found an additional victim that had been thrown off of his bike after being hit with Elliot's car. The authorities placed him in handcuffs, unsure if the person had been involved with the shooting. Quickly, they established that the individual was an innocent victim and immediately provided medical treatment for his wounds.
I am so godlike.
The shooting lasted a harrowing 8 minutes, but in that time, the community of Isla Vista would be drastically altered in the most sickening way. Police immediately began to investigate how someone could commit such an atrocity, and eventually found a shocking piece of information.
My name's Sean Covey. I'm property manager at IV apartment. And I know something's going on in IV. I just got an email from one of the residents, and it's like really disturbing. And it's like,
okay, there's been a shooting in IV.
No, I understand that, but I got an email from a resident, and it's like 141 pages long, and it says like the life of Elliot Rodger.
Okay.
At the end, it talks about killing people.
Okay, yeah, we actually have somebody else. What's your name?
Following the shooting, police once again made their way to Elliot's apartment, where they uncovered the bodies of his roommates, Weehan Wong and Chen Hong, and their friend, George Chin. The horror continued to unfold as law enforcement searched Elliot's room, where they found disturbing pieces of evidence, indicating that he had been planning the attack for an extensive amount of time. This included a small sledgehammer, one 18-inch blade machete, a zombie killer fixed blade knife, a folding knife, lottery tickets, a book entitled The Art of Seduction, various handgun cases, a printout of his 137-page email, personal journals, a hand-drawn picture of a person being stabbed by multiple knives, along with several additional items. The journal looked like it had been torn apart, but the latest entry on May 23, 2014 read, "I had to tear some pages out because I feared my intentions would be discovered. I taped them back together as fast as I could. This is it. In 1 hour, I will have my revenge on this cruel world. I hate you all. Die." Additionally, one of Elliot's button-up shirts and a pair of denim jeans were entangled in his bed sheets. A majority of the clothing was suffused in blood, most likely the outfit that Elliot wore while killing his roommates and their friend. Officers then noticed lengthy slashes and cuts that had been made to the bed, which suggests that Elliot may have been practicing how to use the deadly weapon before turning it on his first 3 victims. But most eerily of all, authorities discovered Elliot's computer resting atop his sheets, open with the words, "Your video has been uploaded," written across the screen. The ominous video would come to be Elliot's final and most notorious YouTube log, detailing the chilling and unimaginable plan to enact his revenge on the people of Isla Vista, entitled Elliot Rodger's Retribution. Unfortunately, these items were found much too late, after Elliot had already carried out the truly evil act. To this day, many consider Elliot to be a glorious incel hero, but to most, he is known as a cold-blooded killer. Some claim that Elliot has provided them with inspiration, including the mass murderer Alec Manassian, who killed 11 people in 2018. Unfortunately, Elliot is still highly regarded as a hero to his cult following. Before authorities were able to ensure that Elliot faced the necessary consequences, he had completed his structured plan. Within Elliot's car, police found a Sig Sauer pistol, several loaded magazines, and a mix of unidentified prescription drugs. They also discovered Elliot's iPhone 4, containing 200 selfies, along with his infamous vlogs. The autopsy would later confirm that Elliot ended his life. But most would argue that the so-called incel hero took the easy way out, while so many had to endure the worst kind of suffering and pain. Within the short period of time, he would go on to injure 14 people and viciously murder 6 innocent victims.
Do you know how much misery you've caused me? I'm such a nice guy. Why won't you give me a chance?
The following program contains graphic images. Viewer discretion is advised.
Are you guys, there is that. Remind you guys of anybody? Y'all feeling any connection between him and BRYAN KOHBERGER? The only difference is that we don't have a lot of BRYAN KOHBERGER's words as coming out as like hatred towards women and stuff like that. You know, just I'm a god and women, you damn women should just love me. But if we look back over some of the things that have been found out about KOHBERGER, all the way back to his teen years where he was actually on some platforms. He was more, even though I believe him to be an incel, maybe not to this degree of it, but he was more interested in the act of killing, what it felt like to kill somebody. We know that because there were different posts found on another platform where he was asking those questions, a whole list of questions to people, and actually put out there that, you know, have you ever murdered somebody and never been found guilty? Or if you have been found guilty, like if he could get an interview with you and he would never reveal sources or anything like that. I do think there's a lot to do with this type of a crime against the college students there at Idaho, because Ethan didn't live in the house. Ethan was just asleep in the house, and like I said, I don't believe that he went there to kill Xana and Ethan. Anyways, I think he was obsessed with Maddie, and Maddie probably didn't give him the time of day every time he went into the Mad Greek restaurant. So there's that. I want to bring this up as well, you guys. Let me go ahead, and it's good to see everybody here. So nice to see you guys here. Thank you. Yes, he ended up taking his own life. He went on that rampage, killed quite a few people, injured quite a few people, and at the end, he put a bullet in his head. That's what happened. So let's, I want to hear from his dad. I think that's a good place to end this at. Let's, hold on, give me a minute because I'm pulling this up. I want to see what the stats on it are. So let's see if I get in trouble. This is abcnews.com. Santa Barbara's shooting suspect father Peter Rogers interview. It looks like this is 3 minutes and 35 seconds. So let's listen to this real quick. Don't come for us, YouTube. Don't come for us. Let me read this one again, so I try to stay out of trouble. Fair use disclaimer. Copyright Act of 1976 gives allowance for this content to be used for purposes of criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. That is floating across our screen, and it's also floating in our chat many times, you guys. You're going to have to watch your own ears because I can only control volume from here. Let me subscribe to these ones and give them a thumbs up for sharing their news. And then after this, we'll listen to one of his neighbors that that also gave an interview. All right, this is Elliot Rodgers' dad, you guys, speaking 11 years ago about his son. So it's only 3 minutes long. Let's take a little gander.
Interview with Peter Rodger. He is the father of Elliot Rodger, the young man who killed 6 and wounded 13 in a shooting rampage near UC Santa Barbara last month. Barbara Walters is here with us, sharing more from her revealing interview. We've never heard from a parent of a shooter.
No, this is the first time that a parent of a shooter has spoken out. We sat down with Peter Rodger for an intense 2-hour interview, and he spoke very candidly about his struggles with his son Elliot for almost all of his son's life. He thought that his son might be suicidal, but he never thought that he would be homicidal. And by the way, he is the first parent to speak out on television. He feels it's his mission. So we'll take a look. There have been numerous school shootings. None of the parents of other shooters have spoken with us. Why did you decide that you would speak out?
The only reason I'm here is to tell his story, to try and stop this happening again.
How did you learn that your son was the shooter?
I thought he was a victim, and it wasn't until 4:35 a.m. that I found out by going on the internet that he was the main suspect and there was only one killer. And when I saw that, it was like, it's one's worst nightmare. I can't describe the feelings.
Mr. Rodger, Elliot was your son, and he is dead. How do you mourn a child whom others vilify?
It's very hard, Barbara. It's very, very hard. After reading the journal, I had a lot of anger for him. And I think my job now is to try and replace that anger with love and forgiveness. But at the same time, I'm haunted by this disease, this human being that changed and became something else.
The father of Adam Lanza now says that there are times he wishes his son had never been born. Do you ever feel that way?
That's a really loaded question. That's a loaded question, Barbara. A part of me says yes. And the reason is because he did an awful lot of harm to young men and young women who didn't deserve to die. And my son did it.
Yeah,
Can you imagine what that feels like? Oh.
Well, I'm also thinking of the families who who lost a loved one.
And so is he.
Yeah. So many people are warning signs, wanting to know if there were warning signs.
You know, that's the big question. Were there warning signs? The son was an introvert. He didn't have friends. He didn't have girlfriends. He had a lot of problems. He was afraid his son might want to kill himself, but it never occurred to him, Robert, that his son would want to kill others. And no matter what the warning signs, how do you know?
How do you know? All right, Barbara. Always good to see you.
Thank you.
And we will see much more, all of Barbara's interview with Peter Rodger tonight.
Rewriting your resume till the cows come home?
All right, guys, I'm trying to get to the one about the
Introducing
neighbor.
Indeed
I have to
Career
wait for
Scout.
this to go. I have to wait for this to go through and let me do it. We'll just listen to this one from the neighbor. Let's see
He
what this
killed
says.
6 people in Isla Vista, California, Friday night, is talking about his neighbor and the interactions he had with the 22-year-old. He has asked us not to identify him. Take a listen.
Can you describe kind of what it is he said to you, the times that you did talk to him, the half a dozen or so times you did talk to him?
He didn't talk. He didn't talk. I mean, when I talked with him for like the 3 hours, I would have to say, like, I would talk for 5 minutes to try to like get some sort of reaction, and then he would say, I don't know, one sentence, and then I'd have to talk to him for another 5 minutes, and then one sentence would come out, and like And I had absolutely no idea. I didn't even know what college he went to. Like, I talked to him for that long, and I was like, what do you want to do? Like, what's your major? Like, where do you want to go? Like, what do you want to do with your life? Never came out. He didn't say a single thing. It was like he seriously did not want friends. Like, he's saying he wants friends. He wants, like, to hang out with people, or, like, he wants girls. And, like, every single time we invited him outside, there were plenty of girls, and just didn't even make an effort, didn't talk to anybody. I mean, he was so closed off. And it was like, when he's sitting there, you could just tell he's just thinking these thoughts in his head the entire time. He's just talking to himself in his head the entire time. It's like, why don't you talk to people here? I mean, it just...
Would you describe him as one of the most strange or odd people you've ever met? Have you ever met anyone like him?
I met a lot stranger people. This is IV. I mean, come on, just walk down to that park and you'll see some crazy people. But
the time that you did talk to him, or he talked to you a little bit more, was the only time he seemed aggressive, the time when he came and his face was all bruised and beaten.
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say aggressive though. He was so emotional. Like, I can't describe how emotional he was.
Was he shaking and crying?
Shaking, adrenaline rush. It was like water faucets just coming out, like, just constantly down his cheeks for a solid half hour. I mean, he was so upset. I've never seen anybody like that mad, like, in my entire life.
And what threats did he make at that time?
Well, he was saying, like, I'm gonna kill all those. I'm gonna kill all of them. I'm gonna kill myself. Like, I mean, like, and I don't know if that's what set it off. I don't know that, like, if that's what set the plan in motion, but that's a long time in the making, because that was a long time ago.
How long ago was that?
Like, I want to say 4 to 7 months ago, but when they did the press conference, they said that happened like July 15th when he went to the hospital. So I'm guessing that's like when it happened. So yeah.
He said that he'd been planning it for a year. So we're almost on a year.
So yeah, but it wasn't that bad. I mean, yeah, he got the crap kicked out of him, but I can't imagine that's the one event that set him off.
Why do I take Tagrisso?
All right, y'all, what do you think? I mean, had you ever even heard of an incel before this, or maybe before the BRYAN KOHBERGER thing? Because it wasn't until the Idaho murders that I ever heard the word incel. I was like, what the hell? Why do we have listen, I'm old school. I'm one of those girls that are sitting here going, why do we have to label everything? How about we just say everybody's fucked up? I mean, that makes us all on the same playing field. If we all just walk around, throw away the labels, right? Like incel, autistic, bipolar, depressed, anxious, and we all just walk around and go, yeah, we're fucked up. We're fucked up. What's wrong with you? What's your condition? Oh, I'm fucked up. Oh, and what's wrong with you over there? What you got going on? Well, I'm fucked up. Then we're all on the same playing field, right? So I'm not a fan of giving everything a name. No, we're all just fucked up. That sounds better. Yeah. Arius at 3, welcome. Incel, what is that? Well, we just covered the whole thing for the last almost 3 hours. Sharon says, incel, the first I heard of it on Criminal Mind years ago. Wow. Nope, never heard of it. Self-absorbed, yeah. An incel is someone who is involuntarily celibate. In other words, they want to get laid, but for whatever reason, they can't. And in this dude's case, in Elliot Rodger, the Elliot Rodger case, his was due completely to his personality, completely, and his hatred for women. And everybody, including men, were beneath him in his eyes. He had it all. He couldn't understand why that other people didn't treat him like the god that he was. Hi, Callie Dream. I don't even know what the fuck that means, but thank you for the view. Don't even, whew, that was a lot in my mind. Recon, you can leave and take your hatred and your bullshit somewhere else. You can fuck off right now. Don't be bringing your hatred, bullshit, bigotry, fucking, don't bring that here. We don't deal with that here. Find another channel, go next door. I'm sure somebody else will jump on that with you. You're a rude motherfucker. I'm gonna tell you that right now, and you're just causing problems. Get out. Goodbye. Detour says it's right, Leanie. All right, the world's all wrong. That's my label. Jay says, if he would have gotten laid just one time, maybe all this could have been prevented, and someone can just take them. I don't know about that though, Jay. I really don't think that he was capable of seeing worth in anybody but himself. You know what I mean? Because that's what love is, right? It's you see worth in someone else and you fall in love with them, you know? Listen, there's nobody he liked more than what he saw in the mirror. So I just don't know that he could have found anybody. I mean, y'all, he had money. He could have rented a hoe, you know? Is anyone aware of a legit female incel? I don't. Callie Dream says looks maxing could have helped Elliot Rodgers. Sex that his hatred was rejection. John H, good morning to you, love bug. Jay says his parents messed up and put him on Prozac or whatever pills he was on. Well, I mean, obviously whatever they did wasn't working, whether they did something or they didn't. We don't have that information. Irish Rose, hello, says, I remember hearing about this. What did this kid do again? He killed 6 people in Santa Monica, California at or around the college he was going to. A good thing no girl fell for that. That's right. Madam says he probably had a pee problem. He might have. Seg says he was so self-absorbed, so as soon as someone disliked, he wouldn't have been able to cope. Right. Bolo says, I think when humans hold fixated emotions and thoughts, it becomes reality and multiplies and becomes a reaction. Wow, that's deep. True. Yeah, I like it. Madam says Prozac helped save my life. I'm so happy for you, madam. I'm so glad you're still here. Possum says, remember everyone to hit the like by double tapping your screen. Thank you so much, Possum. Irish Rose says, oh yes, he talked on video beforehand, didn't he? Yes, ma'am, he did. Lulu says, Seg, wonder if an overweight bloke, pimple-faced lady talking fancy to him, if he would have given her a chance. Like, how would he expect a woman to do for him? No, he wouldn't have. Because remember, because we didn't see all of his videos. When I covered this over a year ago, you guys, there was more video out there of his own. And his thing was a skinny, blonde hair, blue-eyed, fared sorority girl. That's what he wanted. John says a narcissist. That's exactly right. Flower says define narcissist. All right, we'll wait for John to define narcissist. I think that word means different to different people. But from what I know of narcissism, yeah, that's he's definitely a narcissist. Oh, definite. I'm sorry. I'm getting tired, Flower. Forgive me. She did not even say define. That word right there doesn't say define all day, y'all. No matter what time you break that word down, I promise you it will never say define because it says definite. No, I'm getting tired. Madam says he said he wanted a white girl. Right. That's right. Jay said he was desperate for a girl. Joanne says, am I pronouncing that right, Joanne? Please tell me I am. I will butcher people's names, and I don't mean to be disrespectful and do that. I really do try. I can't even read the word definite. He was desperate to hate. I think he liked hating. I think he liked it. Seg says the narcissist is someone who never takes responsibility. Agreed. For their actions. Agreed. Atashi's in the house. What happened to him? He killed himself after he killed other people. Flower says, Seg, they love self above all others. Yes. Detour says the narcissist is a gaslighter who controls your emotions, thoughts, through his or her action. Hi, Carmen. Good to see you. Says he was antisocial, not narcissistic, 2 different personality disorders. Okay. Madam says, Leni, did you find anything about the shooting in Indianapolis? Madam, you don't understand, honey. There's so much shit going on in my world right now. Can I just complain a minute, y'all? Can I complain? Listen. So y'all know my baby child graduated on Saturday, right? Saturday. From college. And I had over 60 people in my house at one time, y'all. I thought I was going to lose my freaking mind. But I was so happy to see everybody. I don't know. It was just a weird thing. It was a weird, all these different emotions, so that I couldn't even become overwhelmed, really, with it. But my parents are still here, y'all. And I'm not really good at small talk. Okay, I'm not good at small talk at all, to tell you the truth. And you guys may think I am because I have a channel and I sit here and a lot of times that's what I do, just small talk with you guys. I really hate it. You have no clue. Like, if we're going to get into a deep conversation, I like deep conversations, like something meaningful. It's either going to make me laugh or cry or get pissed off or get happy. I got to feel an emotion from it. But when you have like these little small talk things, there's no emotion behind that. It's just like, I don't know. And so I feel like I'm having to do the small talk all the time with my parents, and God love them. I love them so much, y'all. And I'm so happy they're here. But I'm not that girl. And I am that girl who has to have downtime. I have to have alone time. I have to have me time. And me time means just me and my dogs, y'all. But I feel like I've got to entertain all the time, even though I don't. They're the sweetest people. You guys would love it. You guys would love these people. And I'm not saying that because they're my parents. I'm saying it because they're just good country folk, y'all. They're good, sweet, sweet people. But it's hard having to feel like you have to entertain all the time, even though I know I don't. You know what I mean? Like, I know they're fine. Mama sit there and play on her phone. Daddy be watching Netflix, or he loves TikTok, y'all. He's going to be 80 years old in August, y'all. He loves TikTok. He never heard a man laugh at TikTok as much as he does. He loves it. But it's hard for me. So I had to sneak on my Discord today. I went out to go and smoke a cigarette, and real quick I snuck into Discord to say hi to my friends over there because I feel like I have FOMO. I feel like I'm missing out on so much. I can't stand it. And I'm feeling sorry for myself. So I jumped into Discord real quick to see if anything fun was happening. Then I didn't have time to read it because here come the 3 dogs. And then my mama follows me around, y'all. I'm like, Mama, I'm smoking. She's like, it's okay, darling. I used to smoke too. Oh, so then I can't, I had to hurry up and get off of Discord because Mama wanted to talk. I'm just not good at the game, y'all. I'm not a good player. Where did everybody go? The party's over. Joanne says he had no appropriate emotional support. Lou says, I get overwhelmed with small groups. I can read a speech to 100 people, but sitting in an intimate setting and having discussions terrify me. I think that's why I still smoke, because none of my family does. So that's my way out, right? I'm like, yeah, I gotta go smoke. And that's how I exit from situations. But then I always have to come back. The weather's bipolar, Detour. It's hot again. Oh, wow. You guys you're not cold right now. His dad needed to step up, Jay says. Party time. Excellent. I got it, Jay. I got you. Hi, Momo. At least you're self-aware. Oh, Momo, I'm so self-aware. I'm so honest with myself. Listen, nobody has to tell me nothing. That's why I always tell people there's no way you can offend me, because there's nothing you could possibly come up with that I haven't already told myself about myself. You know what I mean? But I am very self-aware. I'm a bore, y'all. I'm so boring. Bolo says, you sound like me. I smoke too much, but I'm a social person. I used to be very, very, very social. I really did. But then I married, and it's a long story. You don't want to hear it. It's boring. Nobody wants to know. Nobody cares. I know why I turned into. I'm a different person today than I used to be. I feel like I've lived 3 different lives completely. But this is the stage I'm at now, and it's a very selfish stage. I think I'm a selfish person because I'd rather be by myself. Does that make sense? Like, I'd rather and I want everything to be on my terms. Like, I don't want to ride in, like, if you were here and you're like, hey, let's go hang out at this person's house for a while. I'm like, okay, I'll drive my car, you drive yours. And that's always a problem for people. They're like, why aren't we riding together? And I'm like, because I didn't want to. So I always use the excuse. I'm like, I smoke and you don't. So it works out, right? But it's because for real, the real reason is because when I want to leave, I can leave. I don't have to wait around for people. But I used to be the social butterfly. I used to love having people over for dinner. I loved all of it, you guys. But I'm so selfish. I'm such a selfish person, and I don't like it. I wished I wasn't that way. Good night, Madame. So good to see you. Thank you for coming in and visiting with us again. Seg says, I like my own company. Lou is a loner too. Jay says, being social requires too much energy. April said, let me see what April said up here. Brittany says, the older I get, the less I want to socialize. April wants to be alone too. Oh my God, I'm so glad you guys aren't judging me. I used to be social too. Now it's too exhausting. It's so exhausting. John says, you have 2 choices in life, good or bad. He chose bad. You're right. You're right. Well, I do feel guilty a lot for that, though. I do feel guilty for wanting to be alone as much as I do. Because I could be perfectly happy, guys, getting like a pop-up camper and putting it in the back of my car. That's what it is, Mamo. That's exactly what it is. It is peaceful. No, because even you guys, my husband works from home at least 1 day a week, and it makes me nervous. Not that he makes me nervous, but it's just like, it's like, in my business, you know what I mean? Like even though he's in his office and he works in his office, but still, I feel like a silent judgment. It's so weird, even though he never judges me. I tell him all the time, I'm like, quit looking at me. It's a whole weird thing. I'm just weird. But that's exactly what it is. It just feels like calm. I'm not being judged. If I don't feel like putting on my makeup, I don't. If I don't feel like getting out of my jammies until 4 o'clock, I don't. You know what I mean? But then if hubby stays home, then I feel like, oh shit, I better get dressed. Better put a bra on. That's embarrassing. Things like that, like get put together. Can you put yourself together? Hi, Justice Jane. After a while, you'll get lonely. Jay, I guarantee you, I wouldn't. Not me. No, I wouldn't. No, not me. April says, I totally understand, Lainey. It's much easier to be alone. That's what Brittany says. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Bolo says, being social can be very beneficial and open opportunities to learn new things and perspective. But the bad side is the emotional baggage and for some manipulation. Yes. And I'm not going to lie. And people that have known me for a while, I can be manipulated because I automatically love people. I automatically like, oh, we're friends, and I never walk into like meeting someone like side-eyeing them or I just automatically like you. I automatically respect you. I'm just that person. And so I can be pretty manipulated pretty easily. But eventually I'll figure it out. When I do, I'm done. I'm done. And I can get very, very mean. Detour says, I love being with me, myself, and I. Seg says, I never feel lonely. My head is too busy. That's the other thing, right? Your brain doesn't shut off. That's another reason why I have trouble sleeping because my brain just won't shut the hell up. Jay says, bowling, casino, putt-putt, golf, movie. Oh, for the love of God. Nobody, I already did all that. I don't want to do none of that. Listen, my jam is get me a small 1-bedroom or a pop-up camper, put my dogs into it, take off to the mountains, be up there in that fresh, thin air with my puppies running everywhere and me throwing balls around. You guys, that's the life for me. The dogs love me. And listen, my family loves me pretty regardless. I mean, I got a pretty great family that for some reason really, really like me. My kids like me. I like my kids. My husband likes me. I like him, But of course, we're different human beings. So there's going to be conflict every now and then, or maybe a hurt feeling or something like that. I mean, it's just always something. But when you got animals, like a dog, or cats, or something, I don't know, bird, anything like they just love you. There is no conflict. There is no. Now, my dogs in a heartbeat, you guys will make me feel guilty. I'm not going to lie. They have them eyes. They're golden retrievers, and they have them eyes, and they will make me feel guilty. But for the most part, it's just easy peasy, right? I love that too, but by the beach. April, you're a beach girl. My sister's a beach girl. I grew up at the beach, and I'm a mountain girl. My sister will always be a water baby. It never left her. So you guys will get along just fine. Jay says, Lena, you have so much energy. You'll go all night entertaining us. Well, it's good to know that I'm entertaining. There's a lot more I could talk about. I mean, I could pull up stuff right now. We could sit here and talk forever. I don't mind doing it, but eventually I would get boring, I think. I know I would get tired of hearing I get tired of hearing my mouth now. No, if I get off here, I have to go sit down and shut the hell up because I'm tired of hearing my mouth. I'm a beach girl and a mountain girl, Mama says. I don't like the beach, y'all. I don't like it. Teresa says, is this a combo about dogs or just stuff in general. Teresa, it's whatever you want it to be. Nothing's off limits here, love bug. Come on in here and tell us, are you social or not social? Do you like the beach or do you like the ocean or both? Do you like being by yourself or would you rather have company? Do you like small talk or meaningful conversations? There you go. We'll start with all that. Bad girl or bad girl? Did I say something? Did I say bad girl or bad girl? Am I a November baby? No, I'm an August baby. I'm a Leo, but I don't feel like a Leo at all. Like, not at all. Now I can be a mean bitch. I really can. And I'll leave it at that. But as far as everything else goes, I don't like to, yeah, no. I'm not a Leo in any other sense. You're November. November actually is my very favorite month. My very favorite. April, we do sleep better with the ocean air. That's true. Detour says the only thing missing about Cali is the beaches. The only thing I miss about Cali is the beaches. Oh no. Mountains are too cold. Huh. Teresa says, okay, the house alone. You like to be in the house alone? I love it so much. Irish Rose says, no, you're not. I was the same way. Always with family, friends, kids, neighbor, and mom. I was a bartender to boot. Oh, God, you had to listen to a lot of stories. You poor thing. I just retired and moved out of state to be alone. Oh, that's my jam. Brittany says, I need something to entertain my insomnia. Keep talking. Teresa says, the country. I live on a farm. Can I ask you what state? You don't have to tell me what city or whatever, but what state do you live in? I would love to have a lot of animals. In fact, by the end of this year, you guys all have another golden retriever. So have me a pack, y'all. Have me a pack. Seg says, I have no sense of direction, so otherwise I'd be mountain, but I get lost. I get lost too, but you know what the best thing about getting lost is? Honestly, because I don't know even my right from my left, so don't tell me go west. What the hell does that mean? Go west. Go northwest. What? We can't go northwest. We're either going north or we're going west. We can't do both. But anyways, I have no sense of direction. None. Zero. But the one thing that I like about that, y'all, is that I have found some of the coolest places because I've gotten lost. So I don't mind it. As long as I got enough gas and I don't run out of gas somewhere. I love being lost. Jay says, I have 6 acres in, I'm going to screw this up, Temecula Mountains, more land than I can handle. Oh, sweet. Teresa from Georgia. My Georgia parents are here with me right now. They're from Statesboro, and I raised my kids in Savannah. I'm in Indiana right now. Tashi said, I'd love to live on a farm again. Seg says, I would love to farm. Bolo says, Leo has 2 different personalities, but both don't like the 9 to 5 and love traveling and learning new cultures. I wouldn't say I love learning new cultures. I love to travel, but it has to be in a car. I love road trips. I love road trips. I'm down for a road trip at any time, by myself or with someone else. Matters not. Just don't talk to me a whole lot. Let me just sing and do my thing in the car. But new cultures, not so much as I'm getting older, but I love to learn about people, like learning about your lives and stuff like that. That interests me a lot. But like culture, as far as like eating weird foods and shit like that, now y'all keep it. My land is paid for and thinking about taking equity out. The value of my land building costs $250K. Wow, good for you, love bug. Mama says, my sense of direction. Hold on just a second. Went too fast for me. I think I went down too far. Okay, my sense of direction is too good. It's crazy. I can go somewhere once and find my way back. Oh, I wish. I really wish. I can't. And for some reason, I always want to turn. Hold on, I'm right from my left. Hold on. I always want to turn right, no matter what. Like I will always turn right before I'll turn left. I always think right is the right way to go, and I don't know what that means. Then value skyrockets. April says she's on her way, Jade. Just hang on. She's got you. I have family in Temecula. I would love that. Tashi says, Leanie, you love learning Scouse and Aussie. I do like that. But I like, that's what, so I guess I probably said that wrong. I like the culture as, I guess I do like culture as in like learning about your guys' ways of life. You know what I mean? But when it comes to like food, you guys keep that nasty ass lamb meat to yourself. And your nasty ass Aussie burgers. Never eaten beetroot with egg on a burger ever again in my life. That was the nastiest shit I ever ate. No joke. I love road trips, Mom says. Not with these cats. I know ours is $5 right now, you guys. $5. I could not freaking believe it. Teresa says, I find my horses, donkeys, cows, chickens, and dogs and cats never let me down or hurt me like humans tend to. Girlfriend, I'm right there with you, sister. Right there, 100%. 100%. And they're never mad at you, right? Like you, for me, like, you know, I went from being my dad's little girl to my first husband's little girl. And so I was always scared of being in trouble, like doing something wrong, make them mad at me, like people pleaser, just what are the consequences? Blah, blah, blah. It was terrible, you guys. It was terrible. And even though I divorced that a long time ago, and my husband now, who I've been married longer than I was to my first one, he's nowhere near that at all. But still, you guys, I cannot get that thought of always being in trouble out of my mind. Like I always feel like I'm in trouble with someone, or I'll make my kids mad or make my husband mad. Like anybody else I make mad, sorry for you, don't give a damn. But my kids or my husband, I guess, because they have my heart, you know, like I never want to make them mad. It's just odd. I wish I wasn't that way too. I traveled the whole of Europe, every country. Wow, John, that is incredible. Incredible. Irish says, oh my God, Savannah's my favorite city. I've been there many times. Too many tourists now, though. Too many, yeah. Yeah. I still go down there about twice a year and see them, but they're up here for graduation. I wouldn't want to live in Savannah ever again, though. Just, nah, good. I'm in a little village north of Wales. Oh, I love Wales, and I love the prince and the princess of Wales. I love them so much. I love your guys' royal families much more than you guys ever do. I promise you that. Tashi says, Teresa, you're living my dream life. Darlene says, my chickens and animals get fed around Leanie's live streams. Yes, they do. It's like their little alarm clock. How do I get in touch with you? Who? Nasty ass lamb meat. Oh my God, it's so disgusting. Y'all, they eat them Aussies, they eat, and them Brits. Y'all, they eat so much fucking lamb. It's disgusting. I ate lamb one. Oh, I'll never forget it, you guys. I'll never ever forget this as long as I live. All right, I don't do gyros or gyros or gyros or gyros, whatever you say, because the original ones have lamb meat in it. No negative. Well, then we get the stupid new sister-in-law, right? And everybody's supposed to fucking impress her. She decides to hold Easter dinner. She decides in her culture they eat lamb. And we have to eat lamb too. She was Greek. And y'all was grossed out. But I didn't want to be offensive. And it's not if it was my family and you were marrying into my family, I'd be like, sorry for you, bitch. I'm bringing a hamburger. Don't worry about me. But it wasn't my family. It's Beefcake's family. So I have to be all kind of nice and shit. Went over there, y'all. She had a spread on the table. She puts the lamb in the middle of the table, and I'm praying, trying to, like, God, please just don't let me taste this. Don't let me do this. Don't. Someone passed me the potatoes. I mean, I've had some really terrible stuff in my mouth, y'all. Okay, that sounded bad. I'll just leave that laying out there on the floor. Y'all pick it up if you want to and decipher it for you. But there's been some nasty shit in my mouth before, and lamb was one of them. I took one bite of the lamb, and I was like, ooh, ooh. And you know what that dumb bitch said? She says, honey, which is Beefcake's brother, honey, I'm sorry about the lamb. It's just not going to taste right because it's still raw. Y'all, I thought I was going to lose my freaking mind. Now, I had really, inside my head prayed, God, please help me get through this lamb thing because, I mean, So maybe that was God's way of helping me get through it. Served me a raw lamb that was still like seriously bleeding and tasting terrible. So I didn't have to take another bite. But after that, I was like, I told my husband on the way home, I said, look here, I don't give a damn if your mother puts a lamb on the table. I will never eat that nasty shit again. Cooked or uncooked on a gyro, whatever you call them stupid things. I ain't doing it. I was like, I'm tired of saving face because nobody gives a damn about my face. So let me just say that. Tashi says that I'm blaspheming because lamb is delicious. Y'all, it's disgusting. Lamb rack. Oh, no. Teresa says, my husband passed when my youngest was 9. They're all grown and gone now. I was so busy that I just didn't have time to make friends. Teresa, that makes me want to hug you, girlfriend. Tashi's going to the races to go meet her race car driver husband, y'all. I make lamb every Christmas. I'm not coming, Irish Rose. Don't set me a plate. Don't do it, sister. Don't do it. Bless you, Leanie. I can really always feel like I have to prove myself. Yeah. Detour, good to see you. Thank you for coming in. You have sweet dreams, and I'll see you next time. Lou says, I did lamb loin chops with olive oil, garlic, and rosemary and barbecue last night. The entire street was drooling. Oh, sounds disgusting, y'all. Oh, so gross. I'm going to hurl right here. Tashi says he found the right channel. Teresa, you will find good friends here. I agree with that. I'm not just saying it because it's my name. I'm just saying that we're cool kind of people. And you're welcome here, and I'm glad you did find us. Harry is a right plonker. What the hell's a plonker? Plonker. Harry is a right plonker. Okay, we're talking about Harry, Prince Harry, or the formerly known as Prince Harry. Okay. So that must be a derogatory word, plonker, that he's an idiot, he's a dummy, he's a dick. I'm going to have to agree. Because I think, listen, I never seen a man, listen, you know how women or people will say, well, she's got him by the balls. Y'all, I think Meghan Markle has got Harry by more than just the balls, y'all. She's got balls and a total, his whole bippy in her hands. I mean, I never seen a man follow a woman around like a lost wet pup my whole freaking life. And I'm like, why? Why? I mean, he was well loved. He could have had anybody and he picked that dumb bitch. What does that say? Lamb as Westerling says, mint sauce, yum. Negative. Y'all keep that. You can have my portion. Jay needs a hiking partner. I found a hiking spot. Ooh. I don't hike. I mean, why would I? What about pork turkeys? I love me some turkey, Darlene. Dogging out our turkeys. Gyros. Gyros. Why doesn't it start with the Y then? Why don't they just drop the G? Why did they add a G if it's a gyro? Lambs like venison, it's acquired taste. See, I swore off all of that because my first husband was a hunter. The minute I walked away, I was like, I will never eat anything I can't buy at a grocery store again, ever in my life. Yeah, April go hiking with you. No Bippy, no to Bippy. Lizzo is not putting up with the Bippies, y'all, ever. Harry is under the thumb for sure. Oh, yeah. Hi, Peter. Peter says her dad was head lighting director for Married with Children. Ah, interesting. I knew that he did something in Hollywood. Hi, C. Anderson. He quit calling me mother. Hello, love bug. My baby. So Camilla and Charles, she had him by the balls. For real, Teresa. I've forgiven Charles, though, when he stood there and cried when they were singing God Save the King, when right after his mom's funeral, and his eyes were all teared up and he was red, and I could just see all over his face. He was just a broken man. I forgave him for everything he ever did wrong. I did. Dinner tomorrow at your house or my house. Always smell meat before you cook it. I smell meat before I do anything with it, for sure. Greek gyro in Canada is also called a doner and hello. Still not eating them. They're nasty. Oh, Megan, we don't like her. My 85-year-old mom says Harry was a runaway. Me cook. Okay. Your Nana was asking if you were going to come over. I told her you would. And I got something for you, Nico Renius. Yeah. I'll tell Nana to put 3 more names in the pot. Because, girl, you know I ain't cooking. Your Nana's cooking and I do the dishes. When's the next time you're in? Okay. Lamb roast. Oh, God. This is getting more grosser. But the other chops or mutton is gross. Supermarket meat is terrible. Listen, I'm just done with all that other stuff. I'm telling you. I would eat a bologna sandwich, you guys, every day for the rest of my life so I don't have to cook. Seg says I'm a celiac, so I live off of meat. You made pork roast and sauerkraut tonight? Nice. Pass Lulu some of that pork, see? She'll love you for it. Jay Winston is curious, where is everybody? I am in Indiana. Indiana. Now you're hungry, April. I'm still sitting here picking my teeth. My donkey's going nuts out there. Must be the car. Oh, bye, Teresa. It was so nice meeting you. Thank you for coming. Get that gun out and pop them coyotes. I have gluten problems, Jay says. Hi, Chris. I like meatball casserole with cheese. Now that sounds damn good. Baby girl has a big quiz on Wednesday. Interesting. That's not tomorrow. It's the next day. I'm always curious where everybody's at. What state? At Jay, no fun, no bless. All right, you guys, give me just a minute. I need to go smoke a cigarette. And I need to pee. We'll keep it going for just a little while longer. Let me go take some medicine real quick. Let me pee and let me go smoke. That's what I'm going to do. And you guys get to listen to some of this fan jam, funkomatic, slam jam, funkomatic, great music. Hold on just a second. Your opinion, cigarettes are very bad. My opinion, you're right. I agree. I agree so much that here's a song about it.
Leanie's got a channel, it's a wild affair. Maggie co-hosts with a comical flair. Prayers and laughter fill the air. Jumping jacks and goofy stares. Families gather around the glowing screen. Hilarity's a cocktail where we dream. Maggie's jokes are a mean machine. Turns our blues to yellow and green. Leanie needs a smoke break, light it up. Life spins crazy, but we fill our cup. Laughter's the anthem, turn it up. Present with love, it's more than enough. Impromptu vibes like morning light. Creating joy in the middle of the night. Smoke breaks, just a moment of quiet fight. Back to fun, to the crazy side. Tick tock, time flies by with Maggie's jokes that reach the sky. Leanie grins with a happy sigh. Happiness streaming, no need to cry. Leanie needs a smoke break, light it up. Life spins crazy, but we fill our cup. Laughter's the anthem, turn it up. Present with love, it's more than enough. Impromptu vibes like morning light. Creating joy in the middle of the night. Smoke breaks, just a moment of quiet fight. Present with love, it's more than enough. Impromptu vibes like morning up. Life spins crazy, but we fill our cup. Laughter's the anthem, turn it up. Present with love, it's more than enough. Impromptu vibes like morning light. Light and joy in the middle of the night. Laughter's the anthem, turn it up. Present with love, it's more than enough. Impromptu vibes like morning love. Leanie's got a channel, it's a wild affair. Maggie co-hosts with a comical flair. Prayers and laughter fill the air. Jumping jacks and goofy stares. Families gather around the glowing screen. Hilarity's a cocktail where we dream. Maggie's jokes are a mean machine. Turns our blues to yellow and green. Leanie needs a smoke break, light it up. Life spins crazy, but we fill our cup. Laughter's the anthem, turn it up. Present with love, it's more than enough. Impromptu vibes like morning light. Creating joy in the middle of the night. Smoke breaks, just a moment of quiet fight. Back to fun, to the crazy side. Tick tock, time flies by with Maggie's jokes that reach the sky. Leanie grins with a happy sigh. Happiness streaming, no need to cry. Leanie needs a smoke break, light it up. Life spins crazy, but we fill our cup. Laughter's the anthem, turn it up. Present with love, it's more than enough. Impromptu vibes like morning light. Creating joy in the middle of the night. Smoke breaks, just a moment of quiet fight. Present with love, it's more than enough. Impromptu vibes like morning up. Life spins crazy, but we fill our cup. Laughter's the anthem, turn it up. Present with love, it's more than enough. Impromptu vibes like morning light. Light and joy in the middle of the night. Laughter's the anthem, turn it up. Present with love, it's more than enough. Impromptu vibes like morning love.
Leanie wakes up, brushes off the slate, fumbling for her bagel, this routine to keep. Cigarette smolders by her coffee pot. Mornings ain't easy, but it's all she's got. She's got a wild chat, hosted by Maggie. Crazy comments flying, lines go zigzaggy. Leanie takes a breath, bites her breakfast round. Gonna need her fuel when the crazies come round. Oh, Leanie's on the screen, trying not to scream. Maggie's holding down this wild, wild dream. Bagel in her hand, coffee by her side. She's ready for the madness, with Maggie as her guide. chat explodes with every single ding. Leanie's got her caffeine, she can handle anything. Maggie reads the messages, keeping things in line. Leanie laughs it off, says, folks, you're doing fine. Oh, Leanie's on the screen, trying not to scream. Maggie's holding down this wild, wild dream. Bagel in her hand, coffee by her side. She's ready for the madness, with Maggie as her guide. Town every morning's a game. Leanie plays a host while Maggie calls her names. From the backwards of her room to the front lines of the screen, life is but a show in this crazy online scene. Oh, Leanie's on the screen, trying not to scream. Maggie's holding down this wild, wild dream. Bagel in her hand, coffee by her side. She's ready for the madness, with Maggie as her guide. Maggie as a guide.
You're welcome. That music was brought to you by our very own Lunch Lady. Lunch Lady. Ooh, I love some corn. Seg says, me too. Me too. Bagel in the car in the trunk. Oh my goodness. Oh my, we miss our Maggie. One day she'll be back. She'll surprise all of us. Just come bouncing in here and be like, what up? I'll be so happy when that day comes, probably cry my eyes out, have to close the live. Oh, mercy. Anyways, I have enjoyed this so much. It's been a long time since I've sat here and just been able to hang out with you guys and check out chat. It's my favorite thing to do, really. Just sit here and talk with chat. That's my favorite thing about this channel, really, to tell you the truth. The rest of it's just a bonus. We miss our Maggie. Yeah. I think y'all, tell you the truth, I haven't even talked to Maggie in like since Friday, I think was the last time I talked to her. I've just been so freaking caught up. Anyways, I'm going to close this one down, you guys. I already have something planned for later on tonight because we're already in the early morning hours here. And I've got to get a couple hours sleep before my parentals get up. But I've got something planned for tonight. I got to see if I could find the stuff that I was thinking about doing. It's an important one. It's a serious one. But listening to Elliot Rodger's dad talk, it made me remember something else about another parent of a very terrible crime and how that parent took many years, but finally was able actually to come out and talk about it and also take her responsibility in his crime. So I think it'll be a good one to cover. So I hope you guys will come back for that. It'll be around the same time again, midnight later on tonight till 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, somewhere in there. I'll go live again and we'll cover that. I'm trying to get lives in because Friday I'm having a procedure done, and as most of you guys know, my mouth will be out of commission for a while. So I got some plans for the channel that's going to get us through until I can start talking again and commentating and doing all that stuff. I've got some plans, and I hope you guys will stick it out with me, let me heal and do what I need to get done to make myself better, be in better health and all of that. So we'll figure it out as we go along in this journey together. So I'm trying to put in some really good lives for you guys the rest of this week, because Thursday night will be the last one for a while that I will be able to talk. So I will just be like in chat with y'all. Yeah, Jade, that's what I'll be doing. we'll be doing something on the screen, and I will just be in chat with you guys and not talking. Oh, what a travesty. Lizzo, you have to know I'm giving you deuces, girlfriend. And you know what kind of deuces they are, one on each hand. I love that. That's what Maggie would say to me too. You know, my girlfriends, they'll tell you they'll tell me to shut up in a heartbeat. I love it so much. All right, listen, thanks for being here, you guys. I appreciate you so much. It means the world to me. And I love the chat tonight. Thank you for the chat. Thank you for just hanging out with me and being here. And we'll see you guys later in less than 24 hours. Y'all be good or be good at it. And I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.